Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Don't know, don't care. That's my Friday motto. On Fridays, that's my answer to most questions. Like, do the mics work? Do we have anything to talk about? My answer? Don't know, don't care.
Well, you just proved electrical contractor Jesus wrong. He wanted to know if the first thing you say when you walk into a studio on a day like today, the final work day of the week, is Happy Friday. You don't. The first thing you usually say is, I don't give an F.
I don't play that Friday game,
No.
Josh. You're going to have to get me drunk if you want me to go along with that.
Usually on Fridays, you barely cross the threshold and you're already swearing about how much you don't want to be here.
Yeah. Get me drunk night before. Thursday night, get me real drunk if you want me to play the Friday game. Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show. We sure do appreciate the love that you give us every damn day. We certainly hope you go out and have the greatest weekend since the dawn of time. We're going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we'll also try to go out and have some laughs. But we have to be a little more responsible these days. We do. Because as a lot of you know, we got a baby on the way on this here radio show.
We're with child.
What?
Josh, aren't most babies born in autumn?
I can't remember. I think we've read that before.
I thought I had read that once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we've talked about that.
Most babies are born in autumn, and the theory is folks get drunk and fold each other in half come the holiday season or maybe Valentine's Day, and then you fast forward. New Year's Eve. Don't forget about New Year's Eve. And then you fast forward 9 miserable months later, you got yourself a baby in September or October, or the next month is November.
1 out of 3 of ours was a fall baby.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
what I am.
one. You are, right?
Word.
Same here.
Word. So is my sister.
I did a
What about your twin brother? Where was he?
He's born in May.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
You're your twin brother?
I did a quick Google search, and it says that the most common season for babies to be born is in the summer.
Autumn.
Actually.
What?
Yeah. It says between June and early November, but that kind of includes autumn in a way.
That's a big range.
It says that the top month is August, which
That's
is interesting because that's when I'm due.
That's close enough. Yeah.
That's a fat-ass window.
Yeah, I agree.
what did you say,
that
George?
includes 2 seasons.
June all the way through November?
Yeah.
That's 2 seasons.
So your promiscuous intercourse timed up with the history of man and woman, pretty much. You're just kind of keeping the tradition going where you're going to have sex at a certain time of year, have a baby a certain time of year.
Yep, got to do what you got to do.
Boy, you're really a follower.
People love to pick on that Nick Cannon dude because of his weak pullout game. What is he famous for again? Is he an actor?
He's a bit of everything. Singer, actor, host.
Well, how did he make his
Fertile.
How did he make his break into the entertainment
Was he
industry?
like a Disney Channel
Yeah,
guy?
I think he's a Disney kid.
I've seen him once in a movie, and I have to say he was one of the highlights of the movie. I think I have the right guy, Nick Cannon. And I've talked about this movie before. It's a kid's movie. It really is. But it's enjoyable as hell. And it's called Roll, by God, Bounce. Only edit out the by God that was just thrown in for entertainment purposes. Roll, Bounce. Any of yous?
Nope. I saw it.
Yeah, it was him and Bow Wow.
I'm sorry?
It was him and Bow Wow. Bow Wow is a rapper.
Wow. You saw it, Dana.
Yeah, I did.
Nick Cannon plays this really amusing, funny character and his character name is B-Nut. You want to know why that's his name? Because if you don't start none, ain't gonna be none. And it's just a fun-ass movie, quite funny, but I don't think I've spotted him since. But I hear the stories about this Nick Cannon because he just pumps out babies.
Well, that and he's working constantly, probably because he has to pay for all these kids, but he's known for doing everything and being... He's pre-Kelsey, he's been absolutely everywhere. Right?
Pre-who?
He's the guy. Kelsey.
Kelsey?
As far as being everywhere.
Yeah, well, who's Kelsey?
Well, Travis
Oh,
Kelce.
the football player. I'm sorry. I was thinking about actors and singers and things like that. Okay. Before Travis Kelce took over the world, it was Nick Cannon. Terrible pull-out game is how the kids say it. All he does, this Nick Cannon, is have internal orgasms. He's ass-deep in babies. 12 kids from 5 different women's. The reason I bring him up is I just read something here about how he says he's, quote, not done yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
What the heck,
Is that
dude?
a threat?
Yeah, I saw like that's becoming kind of a thing. Some other celebrities who have a lot of kids are saying, maybe I'm not done yet. How many does he need? And at what point? He's never going to be able to have like a big family dinner or something. I mean, he could afford it certainly, but I'd imagine they're all not getting together for gatherings.
Well, no, if there's 5 different mothers to call,
Yeah, I don't get how that's going to work.
5 different mamas to try to organize things, that's a lot of work. He says he's not done yet. What's his direct quote? I'm not done having kids, even if a vasectomy would be the responsible thing. All right, dude.
Good for you, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in vasectomies.
That's too many.
He doesn't believe
No,
in them.
he knows they exist, but that's against what he's going for.
Okay, well, is that a Catholic thing?
Could be. I couldn't tell you his religion.
But is that a Catholic thing, or is it?
I think it's accepted now.
Oh, okay.
There's certain things that, like, cremation was only accepted a handful of years ago.
Really?
For Catholics, yeah.
Ah, man. What a pimp. What was my wife telling me last night? How old is Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves? 23?
2, 3, yeah.
He's got 4 already. Man. I never took a real interest in that. My first wife, we had a couple conversations about babies, but that's as far as it ever got for me. I mean, I got lucky that I didn't have a few randos. Speaking of my wife, she told me recently that I'm absolutely forbidden from Ancestry.com. Is that the right term?
Yeah, that's probably
There's
a
a
good
few
call.
of them out there, but why? Why is that?
Because she thinks that I'd find adult children that belong to me.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
I was thinking back in the history of your family. No, you're talking about the branches that come off of you.
Right.
Okay.
I'm forbidden. I can look at any other website, but not Ancestry.com.
Oh, I'm kind of curious now.
High Hopes McGee
Yeah,
Jesus.
so am I. I know, but I don't want anything. I'm afraid of it now.
Sure.
High Hopes McGee Jesus said Nick Cannon started on Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon.
on All That.
Oh, I love that show. Forgot he was on it.
Josh, was this, speaking of kids, was this a mistake that you sent me an article, 5 reasons why yelling at your kids doesn't work? Was that?
Yeah, I meant to send that to my wife.
Oh, really?
I sent that to you.
Yeah, you did.
Cute.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I'm glad I didn't ask you off air.
That's funny.
What's going on at the house?
Nothing. It's every once in a while, I'll see these like parenting articles, and I feel there might be some value in this, so I'll read it and I'll send it to my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys trade back and forth parenting ideas.
Yeah. Usually, I'll see it and I'll send it to her. She can get to yelling.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a yeller.
Okay.
I'm more of a what are you thinking type of guy.
I'll tell you what. This is
That's hilarious.
out of the accidental emails I've received here at the radio station. This is my favorite. If you're a
embarrassed.
longtime listener, you understand the reference. But I don't. As far as accidental emails go, I'll take this one over the other one that I received years ago. So there's no problems at the house?
No. That's embarrassing.
5 reasons why yelling at your kids doesn't work.
Did you see the headline?
No.
It's in all caps.
What does
I
it
thought
say?
that was exactly what you said.
Oh,
5 reasons.
it's in all caps.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
yelling
it.
at you.
I thought maybe that's just what you did with the headline, but sure, they're kind of being tongue-in-cheek there. So you like this article? You want your wife to read it and,
Yeah.
and understand what she's doing wrong?
Now I want to read you some of the other emails I've sent her that I could have sent you. Okay,
Oh.
so you get an idea of kind of what I'm sending. All
Oh,
right?
these are okay. This is very interesting.
So, yeah, here are 5 reasons why yelling at your kids doesn't work.
Uh-huh.
It's Spring Cyber Week at Wayfair. 15 tips for filling out your men's 2025 NCAA tournament bracket.
All right, that makes sense. We're involved in the significant other bracket challenge right now on the program.
Here are a couple more. Canine massage techniques to ease your pet stress at home.
Oh, my God.
Lago Tacos to open 4th location at Viking Lakes in Egan.
Oh, I'm excited about that one.
These are real-life emails that you've sent your wife.
Oh, yeah, I got a ton here. Just a ton that I've... Let's see, I'll scroll down.
So
I do the same thing, Josh. Me and my fiance do.
you trade a lot of emails?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean?
Yeah, we send each other like emails for articles like along the same line of like those kind of articles.
Like things that we can be doing better around the house?
Yep.
Things that could improve you or improve me?
Yep, a lot of
Helpful.
lately. A lot of articles about babies.
Oh,
Baby articles?
Yeah, a lot of boring stuff.
Josh,
Like
that's effing hilarious. I didn't know at first when I received the email. I thought, okay, Josh thinks this is good subject matter for the program. What I assumed was that it would fit nicely on this program for a conversation because I know you came from an upbringing where dad yelled his nuts off.
Yes, but only all the time.
Right. And so I thought maybe, that's how this article could become a conversational thing here on the program.
No, that's a guy just working too fast in the morning.
So
I'm embarrassed.
tell me about this Wayfair sale again now. This is...
Oh, I love Wayfair.
What is Wayfair?
Wayfair, like you can buy usually cheaper furniture and stuff.
Okay, you're in the market for some furniture.
Well, she sometimes is, so I send it to her like if I see a sale or something.
You're so helpful. You're so helpful to everyone in the house.
Sometimes it's cheaper.
you're
to
gonna
be clear.
It's cheaper sometimes?
Sometimes some of that stuff is pretty darn expensive on there.
Oh, well, I guess I filter it by price. So I for us, it's always been relatively inexpensive.
I usually do too. That's funny.
You're going to start dumping back massages on the dogs?
Well, I think that'd be more of a her thing, but if I see something I think she might be interested in, sure.
Oh, a Beef Cannon Jesus has texted in. He says, well, now I want to know. Why shouldn't I yell at my kids? I read at least skimmed through the article, again, thinking maybe it was something you wanted to talk about on the program ski. And when I read the article, this is what I said to myself. Boy, this is some new style SAWFT soft-ass parenting
Plenty of that
crap
stuff.
right here.
Yeah, you got to kind of pick and choose with some of this.
This stuff.
Gentle parenting.
Oh, this is SAWFT soft.
Social anxiety Jesus texted and said, do you feel safe at home, Josh? I do. Thank you. Yeah, I do.
yeah,
they
was this a
ask-
cry for help, Josh?
They ask you that at the doctor's office.
Okay, I was gonna ask if they also ask you guys.
They ask
They ask
everybody.
me.
Yeah, they ask.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, I'll tell you. If you're curious, here's why you shouldn't yell at your kids, according to this parenting article that Josh meant to send to his wife, but instead sent to his best friend ever.
It's the 2 people I email the most. I screwed that one up.
You can derail the lesson you are trying to communicate if you yell at your child. Completely derail the lesson. Okay, Ashley, why aren't you writing this down?
That's a common sense one, right?
Yelling can make a child feel devalued, is reason number 2. All right. Yelling can fuel anxiety. Oh, I'm so anxious. Every time I round the corner, Dad chews my ass out. Yelling derails bonding. They like the word derail here, Josh.
Yeah,
they
wow.
use that a bit here.
I think you and your wife should use that a lot in conversations with other parents. Use the word derail until the other set of parents Can no longer stand it. Yelling derails bonding with your child. Yelling at your child can create long-term negative effects. I think I covered all the 5 reasons.
Well, I was telling Nick off air, and maybe this is why it kind of made sense that you thought I sent this on purpose, that I'm the worst dad in the world because for whatever reason, a couple of my son's friends are getting to stay home today. Today's the last day before spring break.
Oh.
And a couple of his friends, like 3 of them, are staying home to watch March Madness games.
Their parents are allowing them to skip school to watch basketball.
Yeah, and I was telling him, like, you got one job. And today's a slough day anyways. And that was his argument, right? Well, we're just going to do this or that. We're going on a family vacation later this year, so he's going to be taking off a couple days. So I'm like, dude, you're going to be missing some real days coming up here. You can't just decide I'm not going to school for no real reason. I mean, how many people have just decided, I'd prefer to watch the games instead of go to work? And unfortunately, too many people think that's a real excuse nowadays.
Right.
But,
and he's pissed at you, your kid?
Oh, he was pretty mad at me last night. Like, I just didn't get it.
Did you yell at him?
No, I don't.
You did not yell?
No, I just was more like, what is your problem? That kind of thing.
I'm kind of on the kid's side.
Makes no sense to me.
I'm on his side, too.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
Sounds like
From
a fun
8th grade
day.
on, I never went to school in these 2 days, the first 2 days of March Madness.
What?
Did
Yes,
you?
you did.
Really?
My
No, I
parents
didn't.
would never.
You
Oh,
never
wow.
went to school on the Thursday, Friday of March Madness from 8th grade through 12th grade.
Yeah, no.
If
did
I
not.
had a...
That is so cool. My parents never would have let me do something
Was
like that, and
with
that's
the-
why I think I'd be more inclined to let my kid do it.
Well, I never had to ask for those days off because the teachers would let us watch the ball games.
So no
Sweet.
longer Mopar Jesus said, it's high school. It's not that serious, dude. Well, no, it's not high school. But I don't understand. So you can just take a day off to watch TV or whatever you want to do?
Yeah, your kid's not in high school.
No.
I guess it would-
And this isn't the Final Four. You
No.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
My God.
I guess it would depend on how many days he's already missed.
Does he miss a lot of school?
No, but he misses assignments.
All right, see,
You know,
that's why.
Oh,
That's
does he?
why.
It's not like he's an A student.
All right.
Is he a pretty good student?
No.
He's not a good student.
No.
I would never have gotten permission as a 7th grader?
7th grader.
I would have never gotten that permission from my parents to take those days off to watch college basketball because I was a bad student and I missed a lot of class. But like I said, we got lucky. The teachers would always put the games on television, so we didn't miss a thing. We had very cool teachers back in the late 80s. Golden Gophers were often in the tournament, too. So that made a difference. And so I didn't have to.
That's so sweet.
I didn't. That didn't concern me.
And
So Dana, your teachers would not allow anyone to watch the games?
Oh, I mean, I was never there, but I heard that.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there.
I heard that some did, and some would just be dicks about it and refuse to put it on, even for just to check a score with, 2 minutes left in the period before the bell rang.
And here's the thing. No longer Mopar Jesus, who I care about deeply, truthfully.
No, you don't.
No, I do. You know that I love him.
Oh, I don't know him. Do I know him?
Yeah, you know him.
Okay.
And so it's not just about today's is a stupid day at school, right? They're not going to be doing anything. I'm just trying to teach them you can't just take a day off if you decide you want to watch TV.
Right.
That's all it really is.
Yeah. And the kid already said it's an F-off day. Well, these are the days that you want to go to school.
And there's less competition
true.
for chicks, man. If that's the case, if some of his buddies are taking the day off.
I always loved going on F-off days when I knew it was going to be some kind of whatever we used to do, homecoming, or, the F-off days. Last day before Christmas vacation, last day before spring break. You don't do dick anyway. Go to school. Have some
those were the
friggin' fun.
best.
School's miserable. You got to go on the days where it's going to be fun.
If he was a straight A student and never missed school, then I think it would be different. But yeah, if he's not doing the greatest he could be doing in school, Josh, I'm back on your side.
Hey, we all like basketball, don't we? But we're here.
I know. Yeah, you love baseball.
Love baseball.
Did you take the days off for the Japanese games?
No, I didn't.
That would have been sweet.
I know they're not playing college basketball at 5:58 in the morning, but Cubby, I'm with you. And you don't have to defend yourself to anybody.
Yeah, hey, and if you feel differently, that's fine. I'm just saying, I'd prefer it if he doesn't take a day off of work because he wants to play PlayStation or something like that.
Doesn't he? Can he have his phone with him all day?
At school?
Yeah, aren't kids allowed to now?
Yeah, I think they're trying to change that maybe, but yeah, he can.
There you go.
Dresses
We
like
can
a
just look at
cowboy,
that.
but not a cowboy. Jesus, quick shout out here. I didn't have time to pre-read this. He wants to give a shout out to his bro, Ivan Jackanoff. So if he's listening this morning, we appreciate you tuning in.
Must be a Russian dude.
I think so.
That's come over this way. That's funnier than hell. Can I take a day off to watch basketball? No. What the hell's the matter with you?
And he wanted me to call the other parents to say, hey, they're letting them stay home. And I told him that does not affect my decision whatsoever.
Your folks were teachers, weren't they, Dana?
My dad was a teacher, yeah.
And they didn't mind if you just sat at home 2 days in a row every spring for 4 years in a row.
Yeah, me and all my buddies would all get together at one house in the basement and watch basketball all day.
Boy, you
Wow.
guys were coddled.
My parents would send me to school even when I didn't feel well. As long as I wasn't throwing up everywhere, they're like, bye.
I never really missed days of school.
Were you a very good student?
I got good grades.
Well, then there you go.
My family never went on vacation like other families did, where kids would miss a week at a time. So my parents were like, "Yeah, I mean, you get good grades, you show up to school. If you want to take a couple days off with your pals to watch basketball, go ahead."
Well,
Well,
fair
you know
enough.
how it is. You're going to school. You only have the whole summer off, and then it seems like every 2 weeks there's a day off for this or that.
Yeah, you do have all summer off.
If it's cold, you don't want to go to school for a cold, things like that.
You were a good student, sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I dig this, Josh. We accidentally have peeked behind the door into Josh's home this morning.
We have learned a lot today.
Learned a little bit about how things work over there. Back to this accidental article that was, boy, I just sounded like I had been drinking. Back to this accidental article that Josh sent me about yelling at your kids doesn't work. Do you guys remember the most hellacious yelling match you ever heard your parents involved in or anyone else's parents involved in?
Oh, it's always so awkward when somebody else's parents in front of you.
Oh,
When you're over at a buddy's place and the parents are yelling at each other, you feel so awkward.
That was the worst.
So you're like, what do I say? Do I just kind of do the Homer Simpson back into the bush type of move?
I do.
I never had that experience.
Okay, so first off, the most hellacious argument you ever heard your parents involved in? Anyone have any memories of that? Never
No.
happened at your house, Ashley?
Not that I can remember.
You know what's
Okay.
weird? So my dad never yelled at my mom. It was always us constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we gave even a little bit of attitude towards my mom, it was even worse.
I remember the most hellacious argument I ever heard. And it was not my folks. It was Dana's folks. It was many years ago. And his mother was saying, "We need to send him to school during March Madness." And his dad said, "I want this sumbitch out of the house. I hate him." It was terrible, Dana. No, honestly, my folks kept it. You could hear them. But they tried not to yell. But you could hear the inflection in their voice once in a while. You know what I mean? They tried to keep it mellow, but we had a cheap house with thin doors. You could hear them. But I will give them credit for they would do their best to kind of put a blanket over it.
Like
you know?
whisper fights.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun to see.
Every once in a while it'll
Yeah.
be. Yeah. But I do remember the most hellacious argument I ever heard from a friend of mine's parents. And it was friggin' frightening, man. It was frightening. And we shouldn't have been there. This is the story, Josh, of when me and my brother and one other friend snuck into our friend's house. We were very, very, very tight with this family. So, we could really, if we wanted to, just at any time when we were kids, just walk into the house. Hi, and they would have had no problem. That's how tight we were with these people. We were like 6th grade kids, and we thought it would be funny to sneak into the house, crawl under our pal's bed. And then our idea was when our pal walks into his room, we scare him. Well, we sneak in, 3 of us, crawl under his bed, and 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by. He's not there. We never bothered to check to see if his bicycle was in the driveway or anything. We just assumed, well, he's not there. And suddenly, this unbelievable argument kicks off between his parents. Well, then we can't come out from under the bed now. If they spot us now, I mean, that'd be a totally different story. they were saying things to each other that I didn't even know adults said to each other at that point in my life. I'll divorce you, you son of a bitch. Divorce me, I'll kill you. And we're laying under the bed going, oh, my God, what do we do? The dog comes in the room because the dog can smell us. And the dog is sniffing under the bed and wagging her tail because she knows we're down there. And we, of course, we knew the dog very well. We're going, shh, no. Go on. But
it's like in a movie.
Oh, my God. We waited for the argument to die down. Yeah, or maybe they moved off to another room. We ran like hell. Oh, that was a stressful effing scene.
By the way, if I wasn't making it clear, I'm not judging anybody who is like my son's friend's parents. I'm not judging them for letting him stay home. I'm just explaining why I said no. For my kid. I'm not
don't have to defend your parenting to anyone.
Well, some people are thinking that I'm not attacking anybody.
What?
I'm just saying that's how it's going for me. That's all I'm saying. You do your thing. That's cool. I'm fine with it.
See, now we've got problems.
Well, I'm just saying I don't want any problems.
Josh doesn't want any problems.
Not on a Friday. You guys know that's not how I think or what I meant.
No.
What else is going on? Later on, we're going to check. We're going to check on the significant other NCAA basketball bracket challenge.
Do we have to?
We're going to have to.
Well, Dana texted me last night and told me to start thinking about where I want to go to dinner, as the bet was the significant other who had the worst bracket. That whoever on the show here, who's that significant other is, has to take everyone out to dinner. So, yeah, I'm starting to think about it.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about gas station hot dogs?
Well, I mentioned that taco place that's opening up in Eagan. Maybe we can consider that.
That is a good place.
We'll tell you all about it, but Dana's fiance has already more or less thrown her bracket into a fire pit.
In the most hilarious way possible.
Same thing happened to me 2 years ago.
Yep.
2 years ago, I picked Purdue to win the whole sumbitch, and they lost day one as a 1 seed to a 16 seed, and I forgot who that 16 seed was, Wofford or something. But same thing happened to me 2 years ago. Dana's fiance has already lost her national champion on day one. It happens to the best of us.
And it was funny, too, because the headlines were all like, kind of a slow first day in March Madness, except for the crushing upset of Clemson. Like, oh, great.
Oh, were you not watching at all, keeping up with the scores?
Oh, no, I was, yeah. Oh. It was funny. I had a different game on. They have the scores at the top, and I walked into the room. I kind of, took a sip of water, and I almost, choked on it when I saw the scores 31-13 at halftime.
Did you
Clemson losing.
Did you see the sad Clemson Tiger mascot meme?
Yeah.
That made me really sad. That's up on 93x.com if you want to see it.
That was a very sad tiger. I'm surprised he can even look sad.
That
Why did they make it so he can look sad?
Watching that video this morning it put a damper on my day. I don't want to see a sad mascot.
He's going to be fine. No one wants to see a sad mascot. He's got to be fine. It'll be football season before he knows it, and he'll have a lot of fun. It's great because who was it that pumped Clemson? Well, Clemson actually came back and made it a game.
Yeah, it was a 2-point game.
Who the hell was it? It doesn't matter. The other club, was it McNeese?
McNeese.
The other club is just pouring in three-pointers. It's just ridiculous. And Clemson's down by 35 points. So this McNeese kid hits a three-pointer. The Clemson coach says, son of a bitch. He calls a timeout. The camera's cut over to the Clemson Tiger mascot. He's sitting on his ass. And he just kind of shakes his head as if he's saying, you got to be boning me with this right here. It's great.
Felt bad for that tiger. He did look sad.
Oh, man. All right. So it's Friday. We don't give two Fs. You shouldn't either. And we will check on those brackets when Randy Shaver. I heard Brad Ryder is he's over his bout with diarrhea.
Oh, that's good.
So he's going to stop by, too.
No one likes diarrhea.
Go this way and that way. Stupid news coming up next on the program.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
No Contest Wrestling. O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, X-Pac.
Getting suspended in school, that's the number one thing people, when they meet me, they tell me.
I got detention.
Yeah, everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan.
I couldn't believe that was my time. I was so grateful.
Talking about living dreams. No pun intended, TJ. Relax.
I rarely do these anymore, but I was really looking forward to this.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
March Madness. We were talking earlier. Oh, my God, do I have a sneeze on deck. Oh, if I have to do this on air, I bet I blow somebody's speakers out.
Oh, pretty powerful one coming, you think?
It feels that way. We were talking about the basketball tournament and how some parents let their kids skip school to watch basketball. Some say to their children, hell no. You can watch basketball when you get home. Effing weak-ass punk. Got a text message here from a listener who says, as a parent, I'd tell my kid, you can miss school for basketball as soon as you can dunk a basketball. Show me a 360 tomahawk dunk, and you can lay on the couch all day.
Does NBA Jam count?
No, it does not.
Then I would have been in school.
Pretty good at dunking in that game?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, if I have to sneeze on air.
Kind of hope it happens.
Somebody. All right, we're going to let her buck. Today's stupid news. Where the hell are we? Oh, this here is for all you folks with Tattoozzz, which these days is pretty much everyone. A question here. Have you ever wanted, like, say, a really elaborate tattoo, but you passed on it because you're not crazy about being stabbed with a needle for 10 to 15 hours?
Not me personally. You know, it's weird, a little aside from this, but I know someone who's deathly afraid of needles as an adult. I mean, I feel so bad for them because, almost tears, so afraid of needles. But tattoos doesn't bother him at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seems to me like the needle would be a little easier with how quick it is and everything, but...
If you've ever wanted a new super cool arm sleeve tattoo, but you're not crazy about 10 to 15 hours in that friggin' chair, which is crazy to me, but I know nothing about tattoos. If that's the case, there may be a, what's the big word, a solution.
Ashley, you've got plenty of tattoos. What's the most elaborate one you have? How long did it take?
It took a little bit over an hour.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, most
Even the tree one?
Oh, that one was even quicker. That one was probably 30 minutes.
Oh, that shocks me.
Yeah, most tattoo artists won't do a stretch that long. They'll cut it up into different days.
Oh, they don't tap out and then another artist comes up and finishes it.
No, they let your skin rest a little bit.
I'd imagine that's got to hurt, too, just being in that position forever.
Oh, absolutely.
My longest one took 3 hours, and the guy had to take a break midway through. He goes, my wrist is getting kind of cramping up. I just need to kind of rest and ice it for a little bit. So I had to take like a half-hour break of me just sitting there in the chair by myself.
What tattoo do you have that took that long?
It's U.S. Soccer logo on my thigh. There's color involved, so it was a lot longer than just like your standard black and white tattoo.
Did they charge you more for that? Or
Yeah.
You and a guy sitting in a room together, and one of them ended up with a sore wrist.
I have to ask, Dana, the place you went, did they charge by the hour or by the tattoo itself?
The tattoo itself. They gave me a price up front.
And how long was it?
3 hours.
No longer Mopar Jesus, 120 hours into his arms and legs.
Oh, that's really cool. I'd love to see pictures of your tattoos.
Yeah, we can get pictures if you don't mind sending some in.
Man, that's crazy because the 3 hours, even at like the 2 hour mark, I was like, I couldn't really see it all that well because his wrist was blocking. I'm like, I'm sure whatever you've done so far is fine. Let's just end it now.
I've had that thought before, Dana.
Here's another person that is just like my friend I was telling you about. Poops in boxes, Jesus. Tattoo needles, quote unquote, and medical needles, completely different. I hate medical needles, like getting shots. I hate it. But I'll sit down for a tattoo anytime, no hesitation. Yeah, I assumed it was just kind of the pain or something coming at you, but obviously it's different enough.
And we got folks texting in saying they sat around for 18 hours, or maybe it was split up. Several 8-hour sessions, 36 total hours. I don't.
That's insane. I'd get so bored.
25
also,
hours.
wow, you have money.
Yeah, I want to clarify, too. When I said that my longest one took 3 hours, I wasn't trying to proclaim I'm a badass or anything, because a lot of people are texting in saying they've had marathon sessions. And
I specifically asked for the most elaborate tattoo you guys have. How long did it take?
I wasn't trying to flex or anything. I know that sleeves and everything else takes a lot longer than 3 hours.
Have you ever seen those fake sleeves? Like that you put on?
Yeah, I love those.
There's a guy that does not seem like a tattoo guy at all to me. And I hadn't seen him for about a month, and he's like, hey, check it out. Check out my work. I totally fell for it. I didn't know those things existed. Just the arm sleeve he put on, it looks so real. That was crazy. I want one of those.
If you don't like the idea of sitting in that chair forever, there's apparently a new trend, and we love trends now. There's a new gimmick up and running for you tattoo people. They go ahead and knock your ass out cold. Folks are...
I can't take it.
Uh-oh.
Ow! Don't move. Ow! Wait! Ow!
I forgot about her.
The tattoo lady.
I love her.
How could you ever forget about her? God, she was
I'd love to
smoking
follow
hot.
up. What's she up to?
probably dead by now.
Probably not getting more tattoos.
I got a crush on her. I did.
Remember how pissed the tattoo artist was?
Yes, he
after
was.
us? Like, okay, knock it off, lady.
Obviously, I hope she's just fine, but legendary. Okay. They knock your ass cold. Folks are going under general anesthesia while getting tattooed. So the idea is you won't have to worry about the needles, the pain, or say maybe the boredom of the tattoo artist going on and telling stories about the Rob Zombie tribute band he plays in or whatever, because you're sound asleep. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Here are the negatives. For one, death.
That's bad, sure.
At least one person has died after taking the gas before setting down for a back tattoo. There are also a few less severe medical issues that could come up, like infections, allergic reactions. And then there's the cost. Anesthesia will put a massive dent in your pocketbook, no matter why you're taking it. Let's get an idea here straight from a tattoo artist. He or she says a back tattoo. Now, that's a lot of real estate. A back tattoo with sedation could cost...
I'm sorry, it hurts.
Could cost between $30,000 and $35,000.
Holy
Not
crap.
worth it at all.
I mean, that's real. If anyone ever said to me, hey, do you want to see what I spent $35,000 on? I'd expect them to walk me out to their driveway and show me a brand new car, not pull their shirt off to show me their new Marvel Universe back tattoo. $35,000?
I had a friend that got a back tattoo, and it wasn't super elaborate, but we all thought he was going to bleed out. And even the tattoo artist was like, my God, what's going on? He wasn't drunk or anything.
So he's bleeding a lot.
Oh, it was crazy. And so we were, all of us, when we turned 18, that's what we wanted to do, my group of friends. We all went and got tattoos. And he was the first one, and the rest of us were like, I don't know if we want to do this.
His first one, he covered his entire back?
No, it was just only the top of his back.
Oh.
So it wasn't super elaborate. Right?
Sure.
But it was so much blood that the rest of us were looking at each other like, okay, maybe we'll just watch him and that's it.
I wonder if he's ever found out if he had a medical condition, some type of where it thins his blood.
Oh, you know what? I don't know.
He probably
Not
has.
that I know of.
He's anemic or something.
Yeah.
Now, again, I know zero about tattoos. It blows my mind that $35,000 would be the price tag for a full back tattoo under anesthesia.
Hardcore tattoo artists are probably very against this because they think like even numbing spray is that you're being a bitch. Just feel the pain of the tattoo.
I didn't even know they did numbing spray.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. Let people do whatever they want.
It
Who
says
cares?
right here at the ass end of the story, isn't part of the tattoo culture earning your ink?
Oh, my
Well,
gosh.
You know what? A few people have texted in and said that exact same thing.
You didn't earn it.
Cry about it.
Have you guys ever known an anesthesiologist?
No.
No.
They make bank.
They do.
Yes,
I know a couple.
I do know that.
You know that? I know a couple who are both anesthesiologists, and they're doing okay.
So yeah, it's very expensive. Also now, I was totally unaware of this. It says here, the same tattoo, which again, we're talking about a full coverage back tattoo, without anesthesia, the old school way, they say here, and this is a tattoo artist speaking, is $10,000 to $15,000? Who in the hell has that kind of money sitting around for a tattoo?
I guess it depends where you go. It depends if you have color. It depends if it's by hour.
Do they offer financing at some tattoo shops?
God,
No,
I would hope
not,
so.
Not that I've ever seen.
I mean,
no.
even if they're charging that much, huh?
I have seen being able to pay in payments. So if you do have separate sessions for a very large tattoo, you can pay for each session at a time.
Hey, everybody. If tattoos didn't hurt, then every sissy in the world would have one.
They're really not that bad. I mean, for the most part, at
I
least
like that text.
for me, it goes numb relatively fast.
It does?
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt as bad as everybody claims it does.
If I ever spent 10 grand on a tattoo, my late father would find a way to come back to life so he could put a boot up my ass after he stopped at a gas station for some cigarettes, of course.
That's one of the reasons I don't have a large, like just one huge tattoo on my arms or my legs, is because I can't afford to spend over $500 at a time for a tattoo, and I also have a really hard time justifying it.
Here's a listener who says, tattoos used to be cool. They used to be cool when only rockers, bikers, and crooks had them.
Yeah, quite a change, right?
Yeah.
Quite a change. They used to be the tattoo was taboo back when we were growing up, and that's not the case now at all.
$10,000. Not a chance in hell. Okay. Now, not every tattoo parlor is going to have this fancy schmancy anesthesia option. Most of the artists who are involved in this bit are using something called board-certified anesthesiologists and working out of surgery centers. It's not likely that your bro from high school who runs his own tattoo shop is going to be holding you down and dosing you with the gas.
I guess that's kind of comforting.
The clientele for this new routine is mostly the rich and famous, don't you know?
Yeah, I would guess that has to be the case, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a lot of money.
Oh, wait. Tony, it hurts.
Yes, it does. She friggin' rules. She had no idea it was going to hurt a little bit on her way in.
I guess not.
That's the best part. What did you think? It was like being tickled? Oh, she screams her ass off. I love that bit.
I always thought it just kind of felt like sunburn. It was more annoying than anything. What about you, Ash?
Yeah, it is really annoying, especially if there's any shading. Once they get to the shading part, because they, Nick, you don't know, because you don't have a tattoo.
No.
It's like they're dragging it just back and forth on your skin.
Scraping.
Yeah, scraping, and that part is just so annoying. Hurry up with that part.
The one I had with color, that was the worst. Actually, is them filling it in. Like it just felt awful.
I've never had.
And it was
a
the
color.
last thing they did, so that was like the final part of it. So
Yep.
it was just excruciating for a while. I was
No,
like, come
I've
on.
never gotten color, and the reason when I started getting tattoos that I didn't get color is because I heard that it hurts more. And now it would just look weird because I have all, black tattoos.
Here's a
Jerk
listener.
and move like that, you jerk on you. Just think about that.
Okay.
Don't move anymore.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to go a little. Ow!
And there's more. You're not even halfway through.
Oh, no, I cut this way up, way up.
Yeah, the tattoo guy's like, come on, lady.
Thank you, by the way, brother and sisterhood, for sending in your tattoos. There's some cool tattoos coming in.
Got a text here that says, okay, now let's talk about tramp stamps and branding.
You don't see the tramp stamp as much anymore. Well, I guess I don't really leave the house, so maybe you do. I haven't seen it.
No. It was really, really trendy for a while, and now it's come and gone. It will, of course, it will return. Branding, I remember seeing something or another about that. Was that like mid-'90s when suddenly everyone wanted to put hot irons on their body?
Mid to late, yeah.
Mid to late 90s. It's
What's
crazy.
that called? Subdermals? Is that what that's called? Where they insert something under your skin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a tattoo artist we used to know who he used to do some stuff with the station. He had put like basically a large ring on the top of his hand, and he could flip it. And it was probably almost the size of a coaster. It was huge. It almost took up the entirety of his hand on top.
I've never been into any of that body modification of any style. I think that the Screaming Tattoo Lady, doesn't she have to be one of the greatest videos ever?
Of all the viral videos?
Videos?
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Do you guys know Uncle Terry?
No.
One of my favorites that I ran into a while back is Uncle Terry. And I'm sure you can find this. Couple of young guys are lighting fireworks in the streets, right? 4th of July kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And Uncle Terry is in a wheelchair. It appears that he has broken his leg. Ashley's smiling and nodding. Okay, so in the middle of a street with a big set of fireworks, and Uncle Terry in his wheelchair, automatic wheelchair, where you press the button and you roll this way or that. Uncle Terry wants to light this big firework, and the young guys allow him to. The problem is, Uncle Terry lights the firework, it starts going off, and it's quite hellacious, but his wheelchair fails to work in that moment, and he's just taking a face full of these hellacious fireworks, and the whole while one of the younger kids is going, "What the hell are you doing, Uncle Terry?"
Put it in reverse.
Yeah, put it in reverse.
Back up, Terry.
Back up, Terry. I can watch that 45, 50 times in a row and enjoy it every time.
Yes, that is one of those videos that still just gets me. Look at me. I'm near tears over here.
Uncle Terry.
I can't remember if they're swearing or
No,
not.
there is not.
Oh, there isn't?
Uncle
Okay.
Terry finally gets his wheelchair to move, and he's smiling because he knows how. Josh, I'm almost willing to bet my life that there's no swearing.
All right, get your hand on the button there, Dana, just in case. They're about to light it.
Hold his hand, Chico.
Back up, Terry.
Hey, hold on.
There's a car coming.
2 cars come.
Yeah.
You got 2 cars come 2 different ways.
People are bringing up the grape stomp lady. That was a good one. Moose soup lady.
Okay, Terry lights it now.
There it is, right
Bag
there.
up. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what's
By the way, Terry seems like he's laughing his ass off. And to that other kid's credit, the other kid in the video, he's trying to save Terry.
Yes, he is.
He's in the line of fire.
Yes.
I cannot breathe.
I want to meet Uncle Terry, and I'm buying drinks all night long. I love Uncle Terry.
He took it in stride, that's for sure.
Back up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse,
That's the best part.
Oh, my God. You could do that. The rest of the show, we could just keep stopping and starting Uncle Terry. Social Anxiety says, I've never seen the Uncle Terry video. Can we post it? Can we post it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's post. Everyone needs to know Uncle Terry.
Must see.
Man. All right, speaking of silly trends that come and go faster than you can say Jack Robinson, and when I mention speaking of silly trends, I'm going back to our conversation on tattoos with anesthesia. That's a new thing. We talked a little bit about manscaping a day or two ago. I'm a part-time manscaper. I'm not always too concerned, but I'll get in there now and again. You know, Cubby, you dig in and clear things out of there, especially if I'm going out of town without my wife. I'll clean some things up. But I can guarantee you won't find me busy trimming my eyelashes. This is the hip new trend on social media.
Don't do this, men.
Age did that for me. Mine, I used to have longer lashes, and I don't know what happened to them.
Oh.
They've disappeared.
Men have the prettiest eyelashes, and I love it. Don't do this.
The hip new trend for all you 8th graders and fully grown, angry, and wildly misinformed social media people is wildly misinformed. I can't stress that enough. Dudes are going ahead and trimming their eyelashes to appear more manly. Dudes are posting videos where their barbers are taking an electric razor to their eyelashes. One dude made a video, and he says, "Hey guys, I'm cutting my eyelashes because it's not manly to have long eyelashes." Oh, okay, says who? I'm 53 years old, Josh. I never once in my life worried about whether or not I was perceived to be, quote, manly. Who effing cares? What are you so worried about?
I know. If somebody's calling you out on that, they're usually the ones that aren't sure if they themselves are manly.
This guy just wants to up and declare that long eyelashes are not manly. Well, who the hell made you the mayor of Mantown?
And it stands out a little more, at least the videos I saw. They took so much off, it kind of calls more attention to it than before. I don't know if I would have noticed.
I never thought about this, but I bet you Uncle Terry lost his eyelashes on that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Back up, Terry.
No more eyebrows for Terry.
Terry, put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
So good.
I bet he doesn't have eyelashes anymore. No. Big Al once burned his eyelashes off. I think he was fixing a water heater.
I bet he looked so weird.
Yeah, burned his eyelashes off. I mean, that water heater kind of blew up on him in the flame, and it burned his eyelashes off. Talk to Big Al about his eyelashes.
Thankfully, they didn't burn off the whole way, but I singed my eyebrows pretty good once lighting a cigarette on the stove. And it just smelled like burnt hair constantly.
Eyelashes?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Yeah.
I've done that with like the baby hairs that hang down from my forehead before, and that's a crappy feeling.
You know what else I've noticed aside from the eyelashes shrinking? My beard hair is getting closer and closer to my eyes. It's raising, like random ones. Do you have that?
Are you turning into Teen Wolf?
I don't know.
That'd be sweet.
No.
Like I have to trim like basically under my eyes now. I've never had to do that.
That high cheek facial hair, Josh, for me, that it's been in the same spot pretty much since I first started growing facial hair.
Oh,
but
really?
Yours is raising up into your eyes.
It is.
It's going to be a...
Pretty soon I'm not going to be able to see.
All right, according to one barber, listen to this now on this eyelash trimming trend for insecure men. One dude walked into his neighborhood barbershop and asked for an eyelash trim because his wife ordered him to. She sounds cute, right?
What? She's just jealous.
His wife criticized his eyelashes for looking too feminine and ordered her husband. What the hell? What are we doing?
That's not right. I don't like that.
So,
hey, dudes, if your wife ever says, your eyelashes are too feminine, you need to get them trimmed, you should look right into her eyes and say, yeah, well, you got a big ass.
100%.
I mean, some people might argue that being told you need to do it and going to do it might be less manly than just having longer eyelash.
You have a really good point, Josh. Yeah.
All right, I'm giving up. You said I got to do it, no problem.
But here's the deal. Trimming your eyelashes is not at all recommended by eye doctors. They say here, not only is it hazardous to put sharp objects near the eyes, but the eyelashes act as a buffer for dirt and dust and germs and bacteria and other debris that could fall into your orbital socket and kill you where you stand. Eyelashes also protect the eyes from light rays and from drying out on you, especially for those of us who use computers and digital devices all damn day, which is nearly all of you. Without your beautiful lashes, doctors say, your eyes dry out and you pass away.
That's too bad.
Yeah. To lose someone like that. because of dry eyes. Sad, isn't it?
It is very sad.
Tragic.
I'd cry if I could.
Yes.
It's
but,
the eyelashes.
But your eyelashes have disappeared.
Maintenance Tech Jesus said, "You have no idea how many times long eyelashes have gotten me laid in my teenage years." And yeah, there's been plenty of times that's like my opening line. Like, wow, you have such beautiful eyelashes. Boom, you're in.
I got made fun of once at a bar. Nick, I was with you one of the times we went to Arlington.
Ah!
This big dude came up to me. He's like, he commented on my eyelashes and called me a pretty boy, which I just cracked me up. That never happened to me before.
Really?
Yeah.
I was standing right there?
Yeah, you were right there.
Was I French kissing a girl or something? Was I?
Well, not a girl. It was about 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5 of them? Well, oh, Christ, that was the trip where Uncle Terry came with, wasn't it?
Yeah. He had to back it up, if I remember right.
Oh, looky here. A couple made a prank video and put it up on social media, and some people liked it and some people hated it. Okay? Here's the deal. A lady is how this one starts. A lady. She posted a video on Twitter. A video where she and her husband, they faked a marriage proposal at a restaurant. They're already married. They faked the marriage proposal, a marriage proposal. He gets down on a knee and all that. They did this knowing that the crowd of strangers there would think they were cute and buy him a round of drinks or two. And Josh, it says here that this has sparked a fiery debate online.
Oh my gosh, I hate online.
The lady, who doesn't? The lady I was telling you about, who goes by the name of Jayla Bumpass. I'd need a few drinks too if my name was Bumpass. She bragged about this on social media. She said, "My husband fake proposed to me to get us free drinks last night." She added a laughing emoji. So they took the video. Summer's in Hawaii. Like I said, dude got down on one knee, the whole routine. The restaurant crowd was clapping and cheering. They all thought it was real. The new guy on the restaurant staff was puking in the corner. And like I said, once all the sheeple and the Karens and the snowflakes and the liberals and the Republicans and the Democrats saw this video online and realized it was all a scam, by God, they were furious.
I've always wanted to do this. I'm probably going to get attacked now for saying that, but I've tried to talk my now fiance before, we were engaged, into doing this a couple times just because I think it would be fun. I don't know. Not necessarily just so we could get a bunch of free stuff, but for fun. And
Just
he's always said no. He's like, I don't want the attention.
One person tweeted, "You steal from the restaurant and you're proud of it, and you post a video on Twitter? That's a sad commentary on a lot of levels."
Oh my God.
Focus your energy elsewhere, man.
Yeah. Can you imagine ever focusing so much energy on something that has absolutely nothing to do with you?
I cannot even fathom it.
Other people really liked the bit. Some other people didn't care at all and very easily moved on with their lives.
So they're normal? Some people are normal?
You know what the fake proposal got the couple, Josh?
What's that?
Because they faked this proposal to try to wrangle a couple of drinks out of the suckers at the restaurant. The fake proposal got them a couple of free margaritas. I bet your little undies come off fast, Josh, when you drink a margarita.
Oh, yeah, especially like one of the skinny ones, so I could have like 1.5 and not feel guilty about it. A moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. That's how I live. Yeah, I might order a skinny margarita here or there.
Good for you.
The whole restaurant was clapping, and everybody looked like they're having a good time. Is that what you're supposed to do?
Laugh and have a good time?
No, that's good life advice.
That's what we're all just trying to do.
Have a good time.
That's something
Don't get so worked up.
Everyone should remember that, at least in my opinion, we were put here on earth to laugh and have a good time.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. If you don't want to laugh and have a good time, think, you know what I should do? I should laugh and have a good time and stop attacking my coworkers online. That kind of thing.
Right.
If you get a chance. But are you supposed to buy people drinks? Is that like like if somebody hits a hole in one, which I've done 5 times at a golf course, they buy a round of drinks. Is that what
I
you
don't
do?
know.
Is
I don't
that
know.
a
I've
tradition?
Yes.
never seen that
That's
kind
tradition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy, I'd feel like a jerk. I had no idea.
No, I didn't know either, Josh. I would have kept my wallet in my pocket. I did pull something similar to this many years ago. I was very intoxicated out in Long Lake. I know I mentioned Long Lake bars yesterday on this program. I don't mean to obsess about it. It's just played out that way. I believe we were drinking at Flat Pie Red Eye in Long Lake, and I was wildly intoxicated, and it was karaoke night. And I wanted to sing really badly. I used to really like karaoke, but I retired years ago because it dawned on me that I've annoyed people long enough. So I've retired from karaoke. But I wanted to sing very badly on this night because I was loaded. And I wanted to sing. Now, when I turned in my little sheet, with your name and the song you want to sing, the karaoke lady said, well, you got about an hour and a half wait. And I said, well, I'd rather, can I sing next? And she said, well, no, everyone else is already, you got about an hour and a half wait. And I said, well, I want to propose to this lady over here. And she said, oh, you really do? Well, then you can go next. And when it was my turn, I didn't say dick about a proposal. I just launched right into, she's got a way about her.
Oh. Did she call you out at all?
Nope, she didn't say a word. I don't know why it is, but I know that I can't live with it. I just was so loaded, and I had to sing because I was a moron when I was 26 years old, but I suckered my way to the front of the line by lying about a proposal.
Orange Blossom Special Jesus said that they never faked a proposal, but they did go to a strip club a few times and faked bachelor parties in order to get the special treatment.
That is so smart.
I never would have thought
Yeah, there's
that.
no way to tell.
Boy, you better not put that story online or they'll come to get you. My other go-tos back in the day, Mandy, Daydream Believer.
Did you ever do any real rock songs?
Yes. Mandy, Daydream Believer. I write the songs, so there's a couple of Manilows in there. The one rock song that I enjoyed doing, Josh, I Want You to Want Me.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah. The live version from Budokan, of course, not the studio version. The live Cheap Trick, 1978. Yeah, those were my staples.
That's a good tune.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
I wish I looked like Robin Zander back in the day.
I wish I looked like today's Robin Zander.
You'd be fine with that, too?
One of the coolest cats to ever live. Robin, F me running sideways, Zander, and the rest of the boys in Cheap Trick. One of my favorite bands. And when they went to Japan, Robin Zander is lucky he got out of there alive. Oh my God, the Japanese women. They wanted to mangle Robin Zander beyond repair.
Maybe that's why his pants were so tight, so they're tougher to rip off. My goodness, you're right.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Come on, somebody threw a bottle of water on the floor. Unnecessary. Could have done some real damage. It was a full water bottle.
Someone threw a water bottle onto the court. Ooh, what a scary crowd, huh? They threw a water bottle onto the court.
I'm no longer thirsty.
Yes. Forget hydration. All right. Check out the sad Clemson Tiger mascot. Did you put the sad Clemson Tiger mascot up on our website, Ashley?
Yeah.
And of all people, Dana and his fiance are displeased with the Clemson's basketball team after yesterday because they wet the bed in the opening round, and Dana and his fiance picked them to win the whole schmear. We'll check in with our significant other NCAA basketball tournament bracket challenge a little bit later. Wolves play tonight. We'll give you everything you need to know about the boys' basketball tournament here in a half hour when Shaver and Ryder stop by. Pigs play tonight. We'll be back in a few minutes with Josh's news report.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why
because you're not playing me.
With rapid-fire takes.
Y'all went from the Super Bowl straight to the toilet bowl. He's not over the NFL. The NFL is over him.
Scorching debates.
All the good, all the bad, all the ups, all the downs.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Sorry for what I said because it was appropriate when I said it, but I can't say it anymore, dude. You are killing the game.
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
When parents make that decision to get onto a school bus, number one, they have no business being on the school bus. But then when they're on that school bus, you can either serve to be a peacekeeper and try to make things better, or you can make the situation 20, 30 times worse.
An Indianapolis mother and her teenage kids stormed onto a middle school bus and unleashed a vicious attack on a 14-year-old boy, leaving him beaten and bloodied with a broken nose and a swollen, bruised eye. The ambush, caught on the bus's security cameras and student-recorded videos, unfolded in a suburb of Indianapolis called Warren Township earlier this month. 36-year-old Latia Hentz, her 17-year-old daughter, and 13-year-old son boarded the school bus, ignoring the driver's warnings that parents weren't allowed. "I'm coming on. Call the police," Hentz snapped. She pushed past the driver. Then the 3-on-1 fight was on. The siblings immediately launched into a violent brawl, with the 8th grader throwing punches while Hentz egged them on. "Beat his ass! Beat his ass!" she screamed, before jumping in the fight herself. Terrified students were pleading for them to stop, but instead of backing down, Hentz and her daughter directed their lunacy toward the other kids. The 17-year-old locked eyes with a 10-year-old girl and sneered, "You want some too?" The beating only stopped when police...
To a 10-year-old.
A 10-year-old.
Yeah.
This is a 17-year-old.
Right.
Backed up, by the way, by her mom.
Yeah.
Hentz stormed off the bus before the cops got, or when they got there, but she wasn't finished talking. "I'm going to tear this up," she warned. "I'm tired of you bitch-ass kids." Later, she told police she was defending her son, claiming the 14-year-old had bullied her son for weeks and slapped him the day before. Allegations she said the school ignored. But the victim told police a different story. According to authorities, the victim claimed Hentz's son had actually been the aggressor, repeatedly making racist jokes at his expense.
Adults need to be adults. You know, if there is a conflict or a tension between two individual students, that's something that can be resolved through kids. If parents feel like they need to get involved, the resolution is going to the school administrator, talking to people at the school. It's not taking matters into your own hands and engaging in violence.
Now, Hentz is facing multiple felony charges, and her children may also be in legal trouble as investigators dig deeper into that attack.
These are obviously very mature, reasonable adults that we're dealing with here, Josh, that can control their emotions.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I can understand if you believe your kid's being bullied, right, and slapped and stuff like that, the rage you probably feel. But yeah, you're an adult. You hopefully handle that situation differently.
You just told the story a few days ago about the lunatic 75-year-old man in your neighborhood that cracked you in the jaw and you saw stars and thought you were going to lose consciousness and all that?
Yep.
And that was just kind of random. Or no, one of your buddies was talking trash to him.
Yeah, he was talking. If anybody deserved to get, it was my friend. Even I thought, he deserves to get punched, but I just happened to be the closest to the guy and my back was turned and he got me.
When I was about a 6th grade kid, I got in a fight with a neighborhood kid, and then his dad punched me in the friggin' mouth. And it surprised the piss out of me. We were playing basketball, typical, 6th grade kids getting in a fight over nothing. It wasn't, overly wild or violent. It was your typical sixth grade fight, which I won, by the way. And then when I was walking home, I see this kid's dad approaching, and I knew it was his dad. And I figured, of course, I'm not completely stupid, I figured he's going to have something to say. Because the kid, after I tuned him up, he ran home. I figured he'd have something to say to me about it. So I didn't tense up. I didn't really even get worried as the dad approached me. But he didn't say a word. He just punched me square in the friggin' mouth. And it scared me. It surprised the hell out of me.
That's insane.
And the dude smelled like hooch. I could smell the booze on him as he was, because he wanted to go further with it, but I was able to shake him loose. And when he were kind of wrestling around, the two of us, he was drunk. That was a hell of a deal.
What did your parents do, Nick?
I believe my old man gave him a phone call and said, if you come near my kid again, I'm going to knock the out of you.
Oh, that gave me the chills.
Yeah.
Brittany Fortenberry, a now former teacher from Indiana, preferred gangbangs to grading papers.
Jesus Christ.
Well, who doesn't?
Which wouldn't be anyone's business, except she had a strict students-only policy to her gangbangs and a freakish theatrical kink. Her wild gatherings required the participants to wear masks from the movie Scream.
Oh,
what kind of fresh hell is this?
Man, this was terrible.
Fortenberry was an open, dirty book, telling one of her students about her past as a stripper, her exclusive content online, and sexual history.
And you're telling kids these stories for what friggin' reason?
As young as 13.
13.
One particularly weirded out student who called the interactions with the educator bizarre recalled how she invited him to bring his friends over for a night of drugs and group sex, Scream masks required.
And in a separate investigation, Fortenberry had all of the boys wear ghost face masks made popular by the movie Scream before having sex with her.
Police say she also paid students for intimate photos, up to $800 each.
Whoa.
A search of Fortenberry's home turned up plenty of evidence, including a stripper pole. One parent told police Fortenberry's husband knew about what was happening and even threatened one of the teens in an attempt to keep him quiet. The scandal unraveled in August when one of the boys' grandmothers went to police, launching an investigation. Hopefully both Fortenberrys spent a long time behind bars for these disgusting crimes.
Yeah, this lady is something.
That's Scream masking. That's something I've never heard before.
I've seen photos of that, like people. There's like a trending photo that has gone around a couple of times, and it's two people being sexually active with Scream masks on. Then people are like, "Oh yeah, this is hot" or whatever. But I don't think they were talking about this type of scenario.
So, Josh, do you think there had to have been some sign at that school that this lady was a little squirrely?
Boy, I would think so. I mean, because the story leads me to believe it wasn't an isolated incident, and there were plenty of kids involved. It's gross.
Man.
Yeah, there had to have been something, right? Unless she's the world's greatest actor, and these kids were completely silent.
Man, that's something. You ever seen any of those porno movies where everyone's wearing a presidential mask?
Heck no, that sounds like a horror movie.
It is a lot like a horror movie.
Sure, you're not watching bank robbing movies?
Bank robbing movie? No, it's not a bank robbing movie. This is, it's not even all presidents. Just any politician. It's not as if I hung around for an hour.
Sure,
but I've seen them.
I have to ask, did that just come up?
I believe
when you were
so.
Scrolling?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who was the chick in Who's Nailin' Palin?
You're talking about
Lisa Ann.
Lisa's Ann.
Ooh, hubba hubba.
Yeah,
she's a good looker.
Can on her, I'll tell you that.
This is a story about Florida man's lesser-known cousin, Arkansas woman. According to the Boone County Sheriff's Office, Ellen McGehee was first spotted outside a local business, aggressively whacking that building with a 10-foot PVC pipe. When a deputy approached to investigate, she brushed him off, claiming her clothes were wet and she needed to change. But instead of heading to her own place, she wandered into a stranger's. Deputies followed her to a house where the actual homeowner answered the door. Behind her, though, was McGehee. She could be seen lingering inside. When officers asked her to step out, she refused and locked herself in a bedroom. When the deputy knocked, she yelled, "Don't come in here, I'm naked," which wasn't exactly true, because by that time, she changed into the homeowner's clothes, which was ignorant.
No, that's ignorant.
After a brief struggle, officers managed to take her into custody. A records check revealed she's already racked up 8 previous felony arrests.
Don't come in here, I'm naked. That's a great line when the cops are on the other side of the door.
Well, guys, nothing we can do. You heard the lady.
A 42-year-old man, convinced a driver had parked too close to his car, decided to play tough guy with a BB gun and what he considered a dramatic one-liner. From his third-floor apartment, Luis Mazzaro spotted a woman pulling into a space next to his late Monday night, which for some reason really set him off. As soon as she opened her car door, he let loose, yelling and cursing from his balcony before he warned, "Don't make me come down there. I don't care if you're a girl. I'll send my daughter." Moments later, he disappeared from view, only to return, now holding what looked like a long-barreled gun. "I'll pop you right now. Move your car," he told the woman. She did, and then called 911. According to police, he also delivered what he likely thought was a mic drop moment.
He claimed it was a BB gun, but warned her this is not a threat, it's a promise.
Nice. The woman positively ID'd him as the guy who threatened her and made it clear she wanted to press charges.
Pressing charges.
Few things more magical to a kid than a road trip to Disney with Dad, and few things are more nightmarish for a kid than watching Dad get busted for a DUI on the way there. 46-year-old James Tompkins, a man with a history of bad decisions and DUIs to prove it. This time he was pulled over while driving his 5- and 8-year-old to Disney World. He was stopped after a deputy caught him driving on the shoulder of the freeway. That was an easy indicator. His excuse was he's just trying to avoid traffic, but his condition was glassy, bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and drunk AF. He swore he only had a mixed drink, just one. But that didn't exactly check out when he bombed the field sobriety test. And when it came time for the breathalyzer, he flat out refused. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, never one to mince words, chimed in, calling him a poor excuse for a man in charge of 2 little kids. And when deputies ran his record, they learned he already had 2 prior DUIs.
Has Grady Judd ever said no comment?
Never once.
No?
No. Nope.
Or had his deputy, go and make the comment for him.
Oh, this guy was hammered. He must have had a few Steve Weisers with breakfast, huh?
Yeah, I would think so. He claimed, it's usually you say 2. He claimed it was just 1 bourbon drink, but they said no. Seems like he had quite a bit more than that. A trip to renew a driver's license in South Florida is so highly sought after, you'd think it was a sold-out Mr. Big Show in Tokyo, Japan. The Miami-Dade County Tax Collector's Office uncovered a network of scalpers hoarding free DMV appointment times and reselling them for up to $250. They used bots and fake accounts to exploit the online system. 200 suspicious bookings flagged within weeks of opening a new downtown Miami location. Desperate drivers were willing to pay scalpers because the standard DMV experience had become unbearable, they said. Some faced a multi-day ordeal just to renew a license with long lines and limited availability. The situation in South Florida mirrors Texas in 2021, when month-long waits forced people to camp outside DPS offices for same-day bookings, with hundreds competing for just a handful of spots. To stop scalpers, Miami-Dade's county commissioner introduced legislation making it illegal to sell DMV appointments with fines up to $500. Never heard anything like that.
What a friggin' scene that must be.
Yeah, $250 to get in there sooner.
At least you could use that excuse for a while now. Like, I can. There's scalpers out here, man. Sorry, I know my ID is like a year overdue.
Well, for a little while here, right, with tabs, when there was issues with those, the state troopers I know were giving people a little more slack, realizing
that was
it was taking
forever.
Do you remember the lines, Josh, when we had to do that emissions check?
Yes.
That was a very brief experiment around here, was it not? The emissions check.
I don't remember it lasting too long.
Gee, I sure as hell didn't think I would pass. At the time, I was driving a 1977 AMC Gremlin, and it was just a complete pile of garbage, and it had to have its emissions checked, meaning how much garbage it was spitting out into the so-called environment. I didn't think I'd pass, but they waved me through.
In theaters today, a princess joins forces with 7 dwarfs to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen, in Snow White, a live-action adaptation of the 1937 classic.
What?
Also in theaters, Robert De Niro portrays 2 rival crime bosses in the gangster drama The Alto Knights.
He plays 2 separate characters.
Dual roles.
Isn't that Eddie Murphy's gimmick?
He does that, sure. A petty thief becomes trapped inside a high-tech SUV controlled remotely by its vengeful owner, turning the vehicle into a deadly prison in Locked, starring Sir Anthony Hopkins and just plain Bill Skarsgård. Today on Peacock, the streaming premiere of Wicked, including a sing-along version and bonus content, and on Apple TV Plus, the 2nd season finale of Severance. In just about an hour and a half, we'll give you your first opportunity of the day to gas up for free, thanks to Holiday Station Stores and Red Wing Shoes. Tune in weekday mornings at 9 a.m. and then afternoons at 3 p.m. to catch the keyword to win $93 in free gas just for texting in. And every entry puts you in the running for the grand prize, free gas for a year from 93X, Holiday Station Stores, and Red Wing Shoes. 93X.com has a clickable free gas icon for the details. Alex P. Keaton bobblehead Jeebus sends a massive "What do you say" to everyone in the raid, heading to the Slave Raider reunion show at Medina tonight.
Word up, Chainsaw.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of texts on that. People are very excited about the show.
Friggin' Slave Raider.
And happy 21st to Mia from Sass Master Jesus, hauling your wood, Jesus and family. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Never had a grown man send me so many pictures with his shirt off.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Zachary, he'll put up a three. No good. Rebound, a scramble. Hunter has it. Hunter at the buzzer, it's good. But Cowboy up. McNeese has its first ever NCAA tournament victory.
McNeese State defeats Clemson yesterday. Let's cut right to Dana and talk about Clemson's basketball club as we welcome in Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Hi, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brad, you got rid of that little bout with diarrhea that you had?
Sure. We'll go with that, I guess.
If you don't specify, you know we're going to assume.
No, I know.
You know,
actually, I would rather have had it been that.
It was worse than diarrhea.
Well, I'm just saying I don't mind that when I have that.
Your Fruit of the Looms feel differently. Well, I'm sorry, it was worse than that.
You out, you know.
I love that somehow we've forced Brad into admitting that he is pro-diarrhea.
He likes it when his colon's at E, I guess. Just
right.
He
likes that clean feeling.
How can you not?
You're right. That's
somehow through a bizarre opening conversation to this break, we've heard Brad say, on the topic of diarrhea, I don't mind that when I have that.
No. But that's not what I had.
I kind of cornered you there, Brad, and you had to say something about diarrhea.
Yeah, I did.
Sometimes bracket competitions can be a real sumbitch. Sometimes you pick a school to win the whole shebang, and they wet their pants on day one, and that's what happened to Dana's fiance and the Clemson Tigers basketball club. Our significant other NCAA basketball tournament bracket challenge started, of course, yesterday. And I was saying it earlier, same thing happened to me 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Purdue with that big Zach Edey.
Yeah.
I thought, who the hell can stop that guy? Because 2 years ago, Zach Edey was unstoppable in college basketball. I thought, there's no way anyone can slow that dude down. Purdue's going to cakewalk through this sumbitch. They lost game one as a 1 seed. They were beaten by a 16. Yesterday, we were busting Dana's balls. He was busting his own balls, busting his fiance's chops for picking a 5 seed. A 5 seed's never won the tournament. For picking Clemson, and it happened. McNeese State, which I believe is in Louisiana, went ahead and beat them.
The funny thing, too, she doesn't have any ties to Clemson whatsoever. You know, it's not like she picked her because, like, she has a family member from South Carolina.
Did she have a certain strategy? I mentioned my wife was going to pick the teams with the ugliest coaches. Mm-hmm. Did she have any type of strategy?
She sat down on the couch and opened her laptop, and she's like, I'm going to go to ESPN. I'm going to do a little bit of research. And that lasted about 30 seconds. She goes, screw it. I'm just filling it out. And she ended with the Clemson Tigers.
That's how most of us do it.
Exactly. I think that's the way you should do it.
Did she do football research from 5 years ago?
Yeah, that game busted about, I think, over 50% of people's brackets.
Yeah, it was a bracket buster, they called it.
Yep.
That was funny, too.
Not mine.
Well, it's only a bracket buster if you had that team advancing, say, to the elite.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it that, because how many folks had Clemson going a long way?
But if you crave the perfect bracket, then it's a bracket buster. But you're right.
That's what's
if you don't want McNeese, if you don't have McNeese State going past the second round, then you're fine.
Their first ever NCAA victory for McNeese State, the Cowboys. And I mean, their coach was pumped. It looked, I mean, that's great for them. Great for them. That was the first big upset of the day. If you're just dialing in to our significant other NCAA bracket challenge, We've had all of our significant others fill out brackets. We didn't help at all. Loser buys beer, drinks, lap dances. I'll give you the current standings.
Yeah.
16 games played yesterday. And these are the number of correct predictions. Ashley's fiance, 13.
13.
Dana's fiance, 12.
All right.
But we all know the one that's missing.
Yeah, we do. Why am I not tied?
Cubby wife, 13. Brad wife, 13. Randy wife, 13. My wife, 12. So it's neck and neck for now.
Wow, that's good.
For now.
We watched the end of the Clemson game. My wife, or my fiance, soon-to-be wife, she got home from school. She's a teacher, and we watched the end of the game. We were on the couch, and then after they ended up coming back. It was only a 2-point game.
Right.
Despite being down 31-13 at half. But afterwards, the text message started coming in from people who knew that she had picked that. And I got one from Randy, and I hold my phone up and show it to her, and she reads it, and she goes, "Oh, suck it, Shaver."
We encourage folks to check out the sad Clemson Tigers mascot on our website. That's a fun video where, at the time, the Tigers were down by 30 or something. And the camera cuts to the Clemson mascot. He's already given up. He's sitting down and just shaking his head. He can't believe he got into a tiger costume for this. Check that out. So, you know, it was a fun day yesterday. I got to admit, it had been a couple years since I really dialed in to day one of the NCAA basketball tournament. You know, for the last couple of years, I sort of took the time to watch, but I kind of lost interest. But I really did watch as much as I could and had a great time. Randy Shaver, St. John's is a school that your wife has picked to win the whole damn thing. Now, did the both of you get a little nervous last night because they came out to a very, very slow start against Nebraska-Omaha?
I was not nervous, but she sent me a text about 2 minutes into the game. "Oh, my team sucks."
And it's already out 2 minutes.
You know, yeah, it's like, you know, settle down. It takes some time. Watch the game. St. John's looked really good, especially in the late first half into the second half. And the game that I loved watching yesterday, I love watching the two Wayzata kids play. I watched Cam play for Purdue and Jackson for Creighton. But that Drake Bulldog team is really good. And I'm from Iowa. Drake is in Des Moines. The last time they won a first-round game was 1971 when they beat Notre Dame in double overtime.
I'll be damned.
And they beat Missouri yesterday. And that team has that coach, Ben McCollum, came from the Division II National Championship team, Northwest Missouri State. He has 4 Division II players on his roster that start. 4 of the 5 were Division II last year. And they beat the 6th seed Missouri, and they looked fantastic. He's a hell of a coach.
Now, that's another name that's been mentioned a little bit with the Gopher job.
I wish it was mentioned a lot more than a little bit. That guy is really good.
Wisconsin won yesterday, which will prove to be meaningless. Did anyone watch who did Louisville play?
They played Creighton.
They played Creighton.
I watched that game.
Did you?
Yes.
So then you saw the kid from Louisville with the Hannibal Lecter mask.
Yes.
That's a cool
It's
mask.
super cool looking.
I think he had like a broken nose or something, right?
Oh, God, it was horrible when I read about why he was wearing the mask. You know, you see the masks a lot at any level of basketball.
Willie Burton used to have that famous mask.
He had
remember?
one of the originals.
Yeah.
Willie Burton, it was much more prehistoric looking than
That's correct. Yeah.
From way back in '89. This kid from Louisville by the name of James Scott playing against Creighton, he needed to wear a mask to protect his jaw, and fellow students made him this. It looks like something they might use in a Hannibal Lecter movie. Did you like that, Josh? I would imagine you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I mean, they did a side-by-side of his mask and the Hannibal Lecter mask. It's nearly identical. It's a different color.
Intimidating. It was cool looking.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what happened to this kid, because how the hell would I know? Oh, back in February, this James Scott for Louisville. Oh, by the way, I forgot. completely that Rick Pitino was coaching St. John's.
Oh gosh, that's why my wife picked him.
She likes Rick Pitino?
Yeah.
The little genius? Okay, back to this kid.
Just don't go to a restaurant with him.
I know what he means.
Lost.
I know what he means.
That was a thing.
Oh. God. Back in February, this James Scott kid smashed his head down onto the court during a game against the University of Miami. Blood was gushing from his mouth. They called it a traumatic facial injury. He could not close his mouth. It's like he almost tried to take a big bite out of the court. That's how he fell to the floor. Had a bunch of teeth knocked out. And that was the least of his worries. A couple of teeth got sprayed right out of his yap, but a pile of them got pushed so far up into his gums, and they were broken and pushed up into his gums, that a dentist had to perform emergency oral surgery to pull these broken teeth pieces out of his gums.
God, that's just awful.
But yet he never missed a game. He did not sit out a game.
I think I'd quit the sport at that point.
The next game, he's fresh out of emergency oral surgery, and the coach said, look, you got to take, and he said, no, my mom and dad are coming to the game. My grandpa's going to be here. I'm playing. I can't imagine having them shoved back up into your gums.
That's crazy. Wow.
And he's still wearing the hand. Well, his season's over now, but.
Give me a day's worth of anesthesia for that and just do what you need to do.
So day 2 today, and we'll see how she all plays. Is there anything you are specifically aiming to watch today, Brad, Randy? Any particular matchup that has you playing with your fly a little bit?
Because I want to see who's playing.
Oh.
Iowa State for sure. They played 12:30 against Lipscomb. That's a game that I have some interest in just for a lot of different reasons.
Here's the thing. Go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to say I'm interested in watch Colorado State because I want to see Nico Medved coach.
Yeah.
They play Memphis. That's a 12-5. And my wife picked Memphis, so I'm hoping for some good things there. But other than that, those are really the only two that I guess I have circled today.
Brad's wife picked Lipscomb.
No, she didn't.
She didn't.
Someone did.
I don't think she did.
Oh, sorry. Well, it takes a while for me to find these. Where the hell's Iowa State again? Somebody's.
They're up in the South.
Okay, in the South? That doesn't help me.
I don't know exactly who she picked all the way, but I know she picked a lot of favorites.
Where are they? For Christ's sake. Here it is. Okay. They're up that way. Somebody's. Cubby wife. Sorry. Cubby wife picked Lipscomb. And it's going to happen today.
I picked them on my own bracket just for some fun. So
I guess looking at the schedule, I will kind of want to watch. I kind of want to see the old.
Wait a minute. How do you know your wife didn't pick Lipscomb? We said no help, Brad.
Well, I didn't, but she told me that she picked a lot of favorites.
I'm joking
so I know
with
that
you.
There's no way she picked Lipscomb.
You were saying.
I want to see if North Carolina. I want to see North Carolina get beat.
Yeah.
So I want to watch that. Yeah, because I don't think they should have been in the tournament. But
even after they beat that club by 30 or whatever the other night.
No.
They didn't prove it by whoever they beat the other night by 30. They didn't prove that they belong.
No.
You got nothing. You got no love for Sam Perkins or.
Well,
Brad
now that
Norton?
we know the story about the West Virginia coach, I'm glad West Virginia didn't get in.
Story about the West Virginia coach.
Well, the West Virginia coach, this Darren DeVries. If you're following along with the story, West Virginia, first of all, doesn't make the NCAA tournament. They were the first one out. Everybody's ranting and raving on Selection Sunday why they didn't get in. And then he takes the Indiana job like a day later, 2 days later. Yeah. And as it turns out, his supposedly, apparently, allegedly, Indiana and this coach have been talking to each other over the course of the season, and he knew he was leaving West Virginia to take this job.
All right.
And his son apparently has, and I'll use air quotes, an injury that he ends up redshirting the season. Okay?
Sure.
To allow him one more year to play. And now everybody's going, hold on a second. That's tampering. How did this guy basically agree to take the Indiana job, but then quit on his other team? Because apparently, there's some people who say that his team lost games they should have won. His best player, his son, becomes injured and can't play.
So you're
the whole
saying
thing's
F that guy, he's shady.
Yeah. And it's all over social media. There's so many people that are like pissed off at this guy. So I'm glad that North Carolina got in ahead of West Virginia. I want them to win today. I think they'll have a chip on their shoulder too. So many people are saying they don't deserve to be in there.
Yeah, I didn't think that they did. There's other teams other than West Virginia. I think that should have got in, but that's just
Yep.
When a school makes the tournament, do they get paid for that?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
The conference does. I don't want to break it down. It'll take 5 minutes. But each conference gets what's called units. And, yeah, you can make a joke about that. That's fine. But each conference gets units, and then those units are...
What kind of a crowd do you think we are?
Come on, give us some credit here.
Those units are split up among teams that are in that conference.
Too much maturity around here.
So, in other words, Gophers, the University of Minnesota will be rooting for the Big Ten teams to go as far as they can because the Gophers get a piece of that pie.
All right. I asked because Nerdy Marine Jesus texted in and said University of North Carolina made $100,000 for making the tournament.
Well, sure. Yeah. I don't know how he's figured that out already because if they go further, they're going to make more.
All right. What else is going on? So we'll watch day 2 today. Boys basketball tournament here in town. Yesterday's winners from Class 4A, Zeta and Cretan. So those two schools will meet in the final. Class 3A, Eastside Mankato won, and so did Alexandria. So they will be head-to-head tomorrow, I would imagine.
Yep.
Class AA semis today, Albany versus Caledonia, Waseca versus Breck, and the Class A semis, Cherry Nevis. Sounds like someone you might have went to school with. Cherry plays Nevis, and Dawson Boyd plays Red Lake. Hopefully the Timberwolves can avoid another disaster tonight playing at home against the New Orleans Pelicans.
God, you would think they wouldn't lose twice to the same team. You would think.
Like we said yesterday, they've never been
down to the 8th spot now.
Down to the 8th spot.
Yeah.
They've always had trouble with Zion Williamson, and I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why. When he is healthy, he is a hell of a player. Tonight at home against the Pelicans, lost to him a couple nights ago, and it was frustrating.
We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. They got 10 games left after tonight. So.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
They need to finish strong, or they're going to be going to L.A. for a play-in game.
Hey, I've never been a massive fan of Anthony Davis, who was in Los Angeles until the trade was made for Baby Nuts, and now he sits on the bench for Dallas because he's injured. Never been a big fan of the guy. I can't explain why. Yesterday, I caught about 20 minutes of his prank show. Did you know that he has a prank show like the old, who was the bald guy again that did all the pranks when we were kids? Alan Funt. What the hell was the name of that?
Oh, yeah. It was, what was it called? Candid Camera.
Candid Camera.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are, multiple examples that didn't force us to go back to 1967, but I can't think of, the typical.
Well, punked.
Oh, there you go, punked.
Impractical Jokers is a big one right now.
What's it, scare tactics?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a little different.
There you go. Like I said, for whatever reason, I went all the way back to Alan Funt when there have been many.
Well, that was the best one, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't. I loved that show.
It was so good.
So Anthony Davis has a prank show.
It's called Foul Play.
Okay, thank you, because I couldn't remember the title. And I watched, 20 minutes of it yesterday, and it was enjoyable. And he seems like a very pleasant, friendly, humble type of a cat.
Okay.
So it's a nice, I had a nice little moment there, and I've changed my opinion on Anthony Davis.
Well, good.
Sure, he'll be happy to hear that.
He pranked Terrence Mann, who plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. And it was
I think Terrence Mann plays for Atlanta now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when they recorded this, he was playing for the it was pretty good, too, Josh. So that tall, gorgeous blonde from the WNBA, absolutely stunning. I can't think of her name. She was...
yeah, she plays for the Sparks.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was in on it. And what they were going to do is Anthony Davis and this hot blonde invite Terrence Mann to come to a charity event, and all he has to do is present a giant check to someone in a wheelchair. This is where the money is going. You know that gimmick, right? And the wheelchair individual is up on a stage. Now, it's not anyone who's dying. This person in a wheelchair suffered an injury playing basketball, and the money is going to go towards her recovery, okay? Just so anyone doesn't picture a dark scenario of some, dying veteran or something. It's a young person who's injured their knee, and the money is going to go towards their recovery, and they have the wheelchair person up on a stage, and right when Terrence Mann, who's the butt of the joke, right when he hands her the check, the wheelchair rolls off the stage and onto the floor. And this Terrence Mann dude is absolutely shocked. People start to blame him for the wheelchair going off the stage, and then, of course, they come out from behind the curtain. It was good.
That's awesome.
It was good.
Cameron Brink.
Yeah, she's.
Oh, yeah.
My
She's
damn.
awesome.
A lot of hubba-hubbas coming in on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My
Alex Ovechkin. What do you think, Cubby?
Oh, yeah.
She's awful tall.
She's 6'4".
That's
what it says.
She's no taller than 6'4"?
At least that's what Google
really
says.
Oh, I thought she was taller than that.
You don't want to know who her godparent is, then, Nick?
Godparent?
Who is it?
Yeah, Steph Curry.
Oh, that sucks.
Kicking her out of the party then.
She didn't pick it.
No hot tub for you.
Josh, she would likely put you in that Amazon position we were talking about the other day.
I couldn't handle that. Wait, so it looks like her godparents are actually Steph Curry's parents.
Oh, Del?
Okay.
Del and Sonia.
I got no problem with Del Curry. Alex Ovechkin scored career goal number 888 against the Washington. He plays against the Philadelphia Eagles last night. So now he's
the Eagles. Yes.
Whatever. It was a hockey
That would
game.
be easy to do, but yes.
I got a lot of information in front of me here, Randy.
I'd like to see that, actually.
Whatever. The Philadelphia team.
The Flyers.
Yes, he's 7 shy of breaking the record now. And he scored the goal with a goaltender on the ice. He has 13 games left.
One of them at the Wild in St. Paul, not too long from now, right?
Yes, my son.
But it doesn't look like he'll be in a position to break the record when he gets here, or does it?
It doesn't?
Well, isn't it the end of this month?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I haven't followed this at all. I'm just waiting for him
I think we talked about this earlier, is that I think it was the end of March when they come here.
Who's got a schedule in front of him?
I do, but
I'm going to try to pull it up here. How many goals does he need?
Okay,
He needs 7.
He plays here on Thursday, March 27th. So
Yeah, there's no way.
That's
He's
next Thursday. That's Josh's birthday.
He's got
How
two.
many?
He's got 2 games
between now and then.
He's got 2 games, but he'll need a couple of hat tricks.
Never know.
All right, so you're right. He likely won't be in position to tie or break the record by next Thursday.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he was 4 or 5 away and he scored 5 in the game?
That would be. I only know
against the Wild.
I only know one guy who scored 5 goals in a game, and you know, him too.
Josh, tell him you really want him to break the record on your birthday.
Yeah.
Mr. Ovechkin, I'm your biggest fan.
I have not followed this like I told you a couple weeks ago. Just wake me up when he's 1 goal away from breaking the record.
Right.
I just can't sit here and, now he's down to this, now he's down to that.
It is after every goal. You're right. Article after article after article.
Yeah, it's gotten to be
it's a big deal, though.
It is a big deal.
It's a big record.
It is a big record. The Man Bear Pigs are at home tomorrow afternoon to face the Buffalo Sabres. Now, I saw a couple of articles starring our bro, Marcus Foligno. Tough Guy McGee, he likes to be called.
Tough Guy McGee, that's right.
Saw a couple articles. You tell me if you think Marcus Foligno was taking subtle shots at Bill Guerin, his general manager. Well, I think it was pretty obvious. Somebody asked him about, where the club is at right now, and he made comments like this: "We all want to win. We've been grinding the past couple of months. You always want to see yourself as a team that's always going for it. We have a great team, but we're a different team without those 3 studs that we're missing." And he's referring to the Russian kid and Eck and Brodin, of course. Would you have liked to have add or done something? For sure. Things like that. You look at other teams bulk up, and it just kind of gives you a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
Comments like that. So
yeah,
the vibe is that Marcus took a shot at Bill Guerin.
He mentions him a couple times in his quote.
He does, and he says things like, Billy's in a tough position and Billy this, Billy that. But, hey, he's a veteran player. Doesn't rub me the wrong way when a veteran player has something or another to say about the general vibe of the club or the moves or the lack thereof. Doesn't bother me.
I think it was just an honest comment from somebody who's a competitor, and maybe I don't know that it was a direct shot at him as much as it just was somebody who wants to win.
Oh, no, Brad Ryder. I'm not trying to insinuate that he wanted to directly start trouble with Bill Guerin. That's exactly what it was. It was an honest comment that, sure, when you look closer, some people might call it a shot. I'm going to assume that he and Bill Guerin have a good relationship because Marcus is such a good guy. I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to try to start nonsense with comments to the media.
Right.
And if he wanted to, he would have been a lot harsher than that.
Sure.
Because he's an honest guy. Yeah.
What is this now? We were talking a couple weeks ago about Target Center is no longer good enough, and now the X is no longer good enough. The Pigs and the city of St. Paul are looking for $394 million from the state government to fund renovations to the XL. What the hell's wrong with the X?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think, it's been around a while, right?
It's been 25 years.
It's been 25 years. I mean,
I don't look at that as a long time.
Isn't there a better place for this kind of money to go? Like maybe like the schools in Minnesota or something?
In the shelf life of arenas, 30 is about it.
They're talking about putting money into CHS Field as well, including a Ferris wheel, by the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
They just built that thing a few years ago.
I know.
I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit and talk about where the money should go.
The problem though, Nick, is if you don't keep investing in the facility and fixing things that need to be fixed or upgrading it or whatever.
Sure.
Eventually you're gonna start talking about building a brand new building, and nobody really wants to do that. I don't think anybody wants to, build a brand new.
No, this is about
St. Paul
renovating.
building.
This is renovating.
Right, but that's what keeps the building fresh or whatever for years.
I understand the idea of upkeep, but I mean they're talking about $769 million. Maybe I just don't know what things cost anymore, but it is kind of surprising to read this. The city says the XL Energy Center has reached the end of its intended 25-year lifespan. 25 years isn't that long. I mean,
It is so nice there. I don't get it.
there are ballparks and whatnot that were 100 years old before they got messed with. Why are we having such a hard time keeping them up these days?
Well, remember, they do more than just the games themselves. I mean, they host concerts and expos and things like that. So it's being used, virtually every day. I can understand that. I think the real concern for some people is Target Center, and talking about building a brand new building. I think that's the one that people are getting upset about.
Some people, when they say, go to Target Center, they're like, "Oh, the floor looks great. Everything." I don't understand why it needs renovation.
Right, it's behind the scenes.
I was going to say, go down in the, the bowels by the locker room and back there, and you'll understand why they need a new arena. They cannot host an All-Star game at Target Center. The league has told them until they get a new arena. It's not because the league is pushing for a new arena. It's that they can't handle all the, media and all that kind of stuff that they would need for like an All-Star game.
Big money-making events. Money-making events, All-Star games. Look, I get it. It just, personally, it's kind of shocking to read that after only 25 years, people would think, we've reached the end of the line with this building.
I'm not one of these people who always says, we need a new, but we do need a new Target Center.
All right.
100% we do.
Yeah. It's crazy to think. I can remember walking in at the X when it was just a dirt floor and they were building. Bill Robertson took us on the media on a tour of the construction at the time. And to think that it's been 25 years is crazy. And Target Center, when the facility was first built, one of the biggest issues was at that time, were we actually going to call it Target Center? People did not want to use the
first
naming,
to get a corporate name.
And people did not want to use the corporate name. I'm talking about the media now. And that was a big deal for media in town, whether they were going to call it Target Center or the Wolves Arena or whatever they were going to call it.
Yeah. Another first. It was the first arena the first basketball, hockey arena in the country to have suites.
You mean like cupcakes and whatnot? I'm kidding.
Underwhelmingly optimistic, Jesus said, I've been married 25 years. Am I due for an upgrade?
That's right.
The Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah. That is a long
I tell you what, if he's due for an upgrade, we ain't paying for it.
That is a long time for a marriage. For an arena, I still think we can squeeze a few years out of it. The University of Minnesota women's hockey team will face the top-seeded Wisconsin Badgers in the NCAA Frozen Four semifinals at Ritter Arena tonight. And the winner goes on to the national championship game against either Ohio State or Cornell. Golden Gophers have not beaten Wisconsin in 5 tries this season. Wisconsin head coach Mark Johnson and the Badgers have won 36 games, only lost 1 game in regulation. Wisconsin took home both the regular season and postseason WCHA conference titles. So, as much as I like Mark Johnson, and
he's not related to Bob Johnson, is he?
I don't think they are related.
Christian?
Okay.
What about Christian Johnson? Well, you know who I'm talking about, Mark Johnson, for Christ's sake.
I actually don't.
State of hockey, my ass.
Wasn't he on the... See, now I'm going to flub if I get this wrong. Wasn't he on the 80 Olympic team?
Of course he was on the 80 Olympic team.
That's not a name I recognize from that team, sorry.
What?
I know, sorry.
As much as Mark Johnson has meant to America.
It was Bob Johnson was his dad. I just looked it up.
Fair enough. I hit Bob Johnson in the back of the head with a tennis ball at Met Center in 1991.
On purpose?
Yes, on purpose.
Why were you so upset?
Because the Penguins had just beaten the North Stars in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final.
Why did you have a tennis ball?
So I could throw it at somebody. Is this the first time?
Respect.
Thank you, Ashley. What do you mean, why did I have a tennis ball? So I could throw it at somebody on the ice.
So that you can use it as a weapon.
We would bring hamburgers and tennis balls into Met Center so we could throw them on the ice. Dana, you've been to sporting events before.
I have. I just haven't thought, all right, got my wallet, got my keys, got to get my cheeseburger, got to get my tennis ball, and then ready to go.
Yeah, my weapon.
Maybe it's time this Mark Johnson gets knocked down a peg, don't you think, Cubby?
Maybe he could be humbled.
Jesus criminy.
Well, Dana, you went to St. Cloud State, so you had to have frozen Gophers in your coat, too, when you went to watch the Gophers-Huskies games.
I never saw the Gopher routine, but there was once when we were playing the Gophers, somebody, and this had to have gone through multiple chains of people agreeing to it, thought it would be a great idea to give all of the students these plastic red light up kind of swirly things we could spin in the air. And they were made of hard plastic. Every single one of those ended up on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
They were out there shoveling in between periods. The poor shovel kid, the 15-year-old, to get the ice shavings, is just lifting up just pounds and pounds of plastic debris. It was ugly.
If you watch video footage of the Pittsburgh Penguins celebrating on Met Center's sheet of ice after they won the 1991 Stanley Cup, you will see a tennis ball bounce off of Bob Johnson's head. I threw that tennis ball.
Somebody should have picked that up and brought it to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Oh, I was pissed off and highly intoxicated that evening.
That must have been very satisfying, though, to see that your throw hit so perfectly.
Well,
yes, it was
especially
satisfying.
after being intoxicated. I mean, that's a pretty good shot.
I was a great athlete. We used to bring tennis balls to a lot, even high school hockey games. We'd bring tennis balls and throw them at the kids from the other school.
Nice.
Oh, God, that was when I was a junior in high school. Again, Met Center. Wayzata was playing somebody. And, we're taunting each other from across the ice, right? Us Wayzata kids are taunting the kids from whoever they were playing. And there was one kid on the other side who was really, really aggressive. And my bro threw a tennis ball, hit him right in the seeds with it from across the ice. It was friggin' beautiful. Yeah.
Impressive.
It was beautiful.
You guys must have had a pretty large tennis ball budget.
I don't know.
Well, they come in like a whole can of them.
Yeah. Tennis ball budget is not anything I've ever heard anyone say out loud in my life. We just take them from your dog kennel, for Christ's sake. It wasn't like we were going to Sport Mart and, All right, what else is going on? Today in the history. 36 years ago today, in 1989, Sports Illustrated reported allegations that Pete Rose bet on baseball. It took him till 2004 to admit it. What's the longest you've ever held on to a lie? Can you top 99? Can you top 15 years?
Jeez.
Pete Rose held on to a lie for 15 years. Anyone top that?
Nope.
I don't know if I could hang on.
Yeah, probably. I probably can top that, yes.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
Where I've said I liked working this show.
Hurtful, yet funny.
Josh could never hang on to a lie. He's too Catholic.
Yeah, there's no way.
Way too Catholic for that.
Yeah, and it's Lent season, so there's no way Josh is holding on to it now.
You been eating fish on Fridays and all that?
One of my favorite parts of Lent. And, of course, the religious aspects as well.
Pete Rose held on to that. I mean, we all knew, but he held on to that admission, I guess I should call it, until the year 2000. 31 years ago today, in 1994, Michael Jordan was cut from the Chicago White Sox spring training and sent to the minors. What a joke that was. Speaking of gambling, everyone knows the rumors there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan playing baseball. That was just stupid. Everything about it was stupid, but I hate the guy, so I don't know.
He wasn't half bad at it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
He was about half bad. He was.
Yeah, he was never going to play Major League Baseball.
Will Karen Rodgers become...
God.
He hasn't even got to the
That
story.
took next to nothing.
I'm still in favor.
No.
You see, you guys
We're not in
you
favor.
don't even know where I'm going with this yet.
Don't have to.
And you're already getting uppity. Uppity. It's Lent. Remember, it's Lent.
Friday, Lent.
Will Karen Rodgers become the latest quarterback to launch a broadcasting career?
Probably.
Oh, I really hope not. Gosh, that would be awful.
Who would tune in for that?
A lot of people would.
A lot of people, I bet.
People watch the game. They don't care who's broadcasting.
Look, if Randy Moss can become a broadcaster, because I don't think anybody here in Minnesota really thought that Randy Moss would do that and be as good as he is, because he's very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time he was playing, I never thought that was something he even remotely had interest in. If he can do that, then there's definitely a chance that Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if Aaron Rodgers would have the patience to do that job, because there's a lot more to it than just sitting and talking. You've got to do a lot of research. You've got to put a lot of time into it. And I'm not so sure that's something he wants to spend his time doing.
I don't think he has a personality to be a studio host, like one of those studio people, but I think
Yeah, but I never thought Randy Moss would either. And he's proven me wrong on that. He's pretty good.
Rodgers could be like a color guy, though.
Yeah, but
according to this story,
I can't see that either.
According to this story, it's unlikely that a network would hire him because so many executives can't stand the guy.
Yeah, I can see he's polarizing for sure.
He'd be a risk.
Yeah.
The words used in this article, and sorry about the gas, but I drink a lot of Gatorade around here. It's unlikely. Many executives feel that he comes off as a pompous know-it-all that would alienate viewers. Another said, I think he could be a great analyst, but he's insufferable. They can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
None of us can stand the guy because he's a moron. So as of right now, they say, we wouldn't hire him.
Yeah. And I don't think I just don't see him putting in the time and the effort, because it does take a lot of effort to be good at that.
Oh, sure. It's a lot of work. Give that gig to Jerry Lawler.
He'd be great.
I mean, he did it. He did it once. There was a time when Jerry Lawler was calling football games back with the XFL. This is the XFL. Puppies, he says. Yeah. Love Jerry. Wonder how he's doing. Wonder if he's still dating women that are 27 years old.
Yeah, that was his thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, if Bill Belichick can do it, why can't he?
Yeah, Jerry. And Jerry, I mean, and Brad Ryder, Jerry was doing that way before Bill Belichick ever got a girlfriend.
And Jerry's 75 now.
Is he 75? Mm-hmm. And when he was like 52, he had a 23-year-old girlfriend, and she was spicy hot. Remember her? They called her the Cat. Do you recall that, Dana?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
My God. No wonder the sumbitch was just on the air all the time. His life was but a dream.
It doesn't say how old his wife Lauren is, but I can tell you she's not 75.
Jesus, criminy. The king. Well, he's the king of Memphis. Right, Josh?
That's right.
He's the king of Memphis.
My parents were down there recently, and they stopped by his. He's got a barbecue joint down there.
Yeah. Oh, really? I bet there's some good barbecue at that place. Yep. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
That's probably why
As if he's behind the grill. What am I talking about?
He's drinking the smoker going at 2 a.m.
That's probably why he dropped dead on television a few years ago, and then they had to revive him because he got 300,000 miles worth of college girls on his odometer, speedometer, whatever you call it. Here we go. We're out of here now, boys. You guys are off the hook for the friggin' week. Enjoy the basketball and whatever else you got going on this weekend, Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We'll talk to you on Monday. We'll be back in a few minutes on the program.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.
Michael Rosenbaum and his Smallville co-stars take you behind the scenes of one of the greatest shows of all time.
Talkville.
I just had a flashback.
Tom Welling's here.
We're going to do a podcast
Throughout the year, we've got a lot of season ahead of us.
It's big talk.
This is good fan stuff.
Yeah, there was some good
watching
stuff.
the show, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
On Smallville.
Yeah. They made it like this is the first time they've seen the guy ball.
That's hard.
I thought it was pretty dark.
It's Talkville.
We're pumped.
The Smallville Rewatch Podcast.
You got to be a part of it.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93X.
Friday. Effing Friday. It's the final for this here radio program. For the work week is what I mean by that. But at the same time, you never know.
You don't know.
Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning
God.
Show. We sure hope our damned glorious listening audience is headed for nothing but fun this weekend. Have a good one. Josh, we talk about our deep, meaningful friendship now and again.
We do.
Do we have room for a third? Now, I don't think we need a third, but what do you think? Do you ever feel like we need to make this a threesome?
My heart always has room for more love. Yeah. I mean, the third would never achieve the status of what you mean to me, certainly.
Sure.
But yeah, I'd take on a third if you're cool with it.
Oh, that would suck. The third person would always get left out. They would never feel included.
Yeah, we'd ditch your ass once or twice just to haze you a little bit at first.
Why?
It's like when friggin' Jason Newsted joined Metallica, and I know some of you are going, you guys are really comparing yourself to Metallica. I'm just saying, as a friendship, as a...
That's true, yeah. If we made a record and he was the bass player, you wouldn't hear it, at least on one. And then it would be lore. They'd talk about it forever. Like, did he even play bass on that record?
You talk about on the first record he appears on, you would erase the bass completely.
As if he wasn't there.
Well, I mean, honestly.
And I'd also constantly say, have you ever thought about being more like Nick? You know, Nick would have said this, or Nick would have done this.
Not to go off on Metallica, but actually Kirk Hammett has said that he has never felt like a real member of the band, and he replaced Dave Mustaine in 1982 or something.
You know what? I kind of see it. You kind of see it.
Dana, Ashley, have you got anything to offer us in trade for becoming a part of the best friends of all time?
Ooh.
To become our third wheel, as they say.
I can cook you guys good food.
Cook good food.
How's that sound?
She said.
I know you both like to eat.
Oh, yep. That's probably the only real joy I get out of life anymore. And you make a hell of a summer salad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I made that for you guys because I thought it was going to be a barbecue, and then we ended up having
it was going to be
pizza in my pasta salad.
It changed to be a pizza party.
Dana, can you top summer salad?
I don't really think I can. I mean, not for your guys' specific interests. You know, I have a Donkey Kong machine. I don't think that does much for you. I've got a bunch of Bruce Springsteen records.
No. We like to listen to good music in our friendship. How many of us have them?
Friends, if we ever get into skeet shooting, we could take some of those records and try them out. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be a better use for them, you're saying?
Just crank up Born in the USA and start shooting them.
Now, I saw this on a website. A website called The Chive. I'm not sure where this article originated from, if in fact it was borrowed from another website. I'm not 100% sure. The most iconic best friend trios in movie and television history, okay? The best damn trios, best friend trios in movie and television history. They start with Kirk, Captain Kirk, Spock and McCoy from the show Star Trek, played by William Shatner, the legendary Leonard Nimoy. Well, Shatner's legendary as well. And DeForest Kelley from the old Star Trek show. I never was a Star Trek guy. I know, Josh, you've been involved in many different versions of it.
Yeah, I love Star Trek.
Wasn't McCoy kind of a dick?
Yeah, he had a temper. I wouldn't have thrown him in there as the third. I mean, I understand why they did that, but I guess I always thought of those more of a Kirk-Spock duo. I would have thought Scotty might have been a little higher on the list than McCoy, but it's been a long time since I watched the original series.
Okay. Kirk, Spock, and damn McCoy. Next up would be, oh, by the way, when you watch the modern versions, the more modern versions of Star Trek, do they always portray McCoy as kind of a salty prick?
No, it's a little bit different now.
Oh, wait
they
a minute, wait a minute. Who's the doctor? McCoy.
McCoy, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't have it confused. Okay, so he's not always
Remember,
portrayed.
damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a whatever.
Right, he was always
NBA player.
Yes, he was always popping off. Harry, Hermione, Harry, Hermione, and Ron from Harry Potter never saw it. They were played by Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint.
Tell you what, the three of those, they got in some trouble together.
Yeah, that's very iconic.
They had some great adventures.
Zach, AC, and Screech from Saved by the Bell make this list of the most iconic best friend trios in movie and television history. Played by Mark Paul Gosselaar, Mario Lopez, and the late Dustin Diamond, correct?
They kind of treated Screech like crap on that show, though.
That's true. He was the Jason Newsted.
Like Ashley said, there's always going to be one that kind of gets kicked in the ass now and again. Oh, yeah, we watched Saved by the Bell. Of course, for Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yes, sir.
That was an eye-opener. That was when we were in college. Ooh, this is a great example of iconic best friends. Thank you to left-handed specialist Jesus. Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and Orange Cassidy. Absolutely. I'm sitting around my brother's house up at St. Cloud State, and everyone's just kind of sitting around flipping the television channels, and they land on Saved by the Bell. And the intro, I can't remember the song. How did the song go? It was
It's all right, because you're saved by the...
Yes, very hippity-hoppity and pop and childlike, right? Mm-hmm. And the show begins, and I'm waiting for someone to change the channel. And we watched 10 minutes of it, and I said, what are you guys doing? Why are we watching this garbage? Little did I know they were all fans of the show already. I was new to it. Well, as soon as Tiffany Amber Thiessen walked into the scene, I understood why the boys were. But it really was. I mean, can we all admit that was a garbage television show? Without the gorgeous Tiffany, that was absolute garbage.
Yeah,
it was too early for me.
It wasn't very, sophisticated humor by any means, but I found
barely
it very enjoyable.
watched it. I didn't really watch it too much.
You could time it out. When I was a kid, you got home from school, there'd be 2 episodes back-to-back on USA, at from 3 to 4. Then from 4 to 5, you could catch 2 more on TBS.
For me, that was Everybody Loves Raymond.
You got the bus to watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah, I mean, my parents were old. My parents were older, man.
I still try to watch that as often as I can.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great show, but I'm just picturing like a 4th grade Ashley. Oh, no, I can't stay and play. I got to get home for Everybody Loves Raymond.
Heck yeah, Dana.
Bo, Luke, and Cooter is an example from Wisco Maple Syrup Jesus, of course, from Dukes of Hazzard. Okay, iconic best friend trios, Ferris, Cameron, and Sloan from the motion picture Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, and Mia Sara. Fun movie, of course, but all I ever want to do when I watch Ferris Bueller and his Day Off, all I ever want to do is punch that Cameron in the friggin' throat.
When I watch it as an adult, I feel that way.
He is such a stick in the ass. From the word go, I hated that Cameron dude.
He's an energy drainer, that's for sure.
Winifred, Sarah, and Mary, a.k.a. the Sanderson sisters from a movie, never saw it, called Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yes, I love that movie.
Played by Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and someone called Kathy Najimy. Is that not a Halloween movie?
Yes, it is.
Never saw it. Athos, Aramis, and Porthos. Oh, wait a minute. I did see this. Athos, Aramis, and Porthos, a.k.a. the Three Musketeers, from the version of the movie made sometime in the early 90s where the Musketeers were played by Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, and Oliver Platt. Why was this included into this? Because that is a awful, brutally bad movie.
I liked it when I was younger.
I never heard of that. I thought maybe you were making it up.
I mean, there had to have been. When did the story of the Three Musketeers first cut loose?
Like the book?
Yeah, in the
1800s?
Right. There had to have been
1840s sometime?
There had to have been movies made about the Three Musketeers that were way better than the one where Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, and whoever Oliver Platt is were involved, because that movie sucked eggs. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore,
So I was wondering about that. Aren't they brothers?
Yes.
Good question.
Is that maybe I'm just nitpicking here? If this is three best friends,
Maybe
I
the
suppose
three
you can be best friends with your brothers.
It's rare. maybe the Three Musketeers were brothers. I don't remember.
I don't think they were.
Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, were they brothers? I don't know.
I thought they were.
We're big fans of their music.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm not trying to put anyone through, extra work here, but could we just hear a little bit of before we get out of here, could we hear a little bit of the Chipmunks when they did My Sharona? I loved it when they did My Sharona by the Knack.
I will never feel more stupid than when I realized that those new movies about the Alvin and the Chipmunks, like the kid movies that came out in, I think, 2010 or something like that, I thought that was the beginning of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
No.
Well, you're young enough.
Yeah, it was sometime in the 60s, I think, when they got it going.
Well, actually, to make you feel better, there's a cartoon Alvin and the Chipmunks in the 90s, and I thought that was the start of it. I didn't realize they had records going back to whenever they first started dropping.
It's crazy.
Most iconic best friend trios in movie and TV history. Next up, now, some of these folks were related too, right? So Luke, Leia, and Han from the Star Wars.
Yeah, Luke and Leia.
They were sisters, and they kissed on the mouth.
They were not sisters.
Oh, brother and sister.
Yes.
And they kissed on the mouth.
For a second there, Dana, I wanted to watch Star Wars again. Sisters kissing on the mouth. What channel is that on? Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison's Ford. Oh, now this one means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you, Josh. Lucky, Dusty, and Ned, a.k.a. the friggin' Three Amigos.
Did you guys, you younger folks here, did you ever see the Three Amigos?
No.
Oh, my gosh, that is so good. Dana especially, you'd love it.
I saw it way back in the day, but it was too early for me to appreciate it. I've been meaning to go back to it, especially after watching that show Only Murders in the Building.
Steve Martin, brilliant. Chevy Chase, wildly overrated.
Oh, I like him.
Martin Short, brilliant.
Oh, Dana, that trio should be on this list. The one from Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I can't remember, for the life of me, I can't remember their character names off the top of my head.
You see, I watched the first season of that, and I was so bored, I couldn't stand myself, and I loved Steve Martin and Martin Short. I didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
I liked it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Back to the Three Amigos. Dude, when they take the shots of tequila, these are my favorite scenes in the movie, when they take the shots of tequila and they all reel from the taste of it, or when they're drinking the sand in the desert. Brilliant stuff, again, with the exception of Chevy Chase. Never saw it. The First Wives Club. Brenda, Elise, and Annie, played by Bette Midler, again with the Bette Midler. Goldie Hawn, Wawa Weewa, and Diane Keaton. Anybody on that one?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh. This stuff was too hot at the time, Josh. This stuff was too hot to be fair to a young, poor, skinny kid living in Wayzata. It was too hot to be fair. Sabrina, Kelly, and Jill, the original Charlie's Angels.
Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with the Charlie's Angels.
Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, and Farrah Fawcett. It wasn't right. Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup from something called the Powder Puff Girls.
Yeah.
Power Puff.
What
That
did I
was
say?
The Powder.
Powder Puff. It's Power Puff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're little superheroes. Absolutely love that. I was almost Bubbles for Halloween a couple times.
A couple times. You
Yeah.
never quite went through with it,
I always back out. I don't think I look good in baby blue.
Of course, and we've gotten isn't how any grown person would approach this next statement. We've received many, many texts, of course. Number one all time, hands down, without question. We're not done with the list, but this is easily number one for the most iconic best friend trios in movie TV history. Larry, Moe, and Curly, the Three Stooges. They weren't the original lineup. Of course, I believe Shemp was in the original lineup before Curly came along. And then after Shemp, there was Larry, Moe, and someone help me. Joe. Larry, Moe, and Joe. But I still watch
This was the most popular one, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. And I still watch them every day, at least over the last couple of months, because I discovered that I have a Three Stooges channel on my television. I could watch them. And again, the movie that was made a number of years ago is so good. Janet Jack and Chrissy from Three's Company. Sure.
Somebody texted in and said Ed, and Eddie. Love that
Who are
cartoon
they?
growing up.
Oh, what's that? Is that what it's called?
It was called Ed,
Yeah.
Ed, and
Oh,
Eddie.
I haven't even heard of it.
Just a dopey cartoon.
The three characters on Three's Company were played by John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, and Suzanne Summers. It says here that Suzanne Summers was not the original. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. I saw, I forgot who it was, but I saw a documentary on the show. Or no, maybe it was a documentary on John Ritter, and then they brought the show up. Maybe that's what it was.
You want to talk about a guy gone too soon who was just so friggin' talented,
Oh,
John
so
Ritter.
hilarious. So funny.
F me running. So there were episodes of Three's Company that aired before Suzanne Summers.
I'm not sure if they ever aired or if it was just they tried it out with somebody else first.
Never saw it. Buffy, Willow, and Xander. We got to take a break after this one. Buffy, Willow, and Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar, Allison Hannigan. I don't know who those two people are. I don't know Nicholas Brendan. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, anybody?
No, I never got into that one.
Trios is the conversation we've been having. The most iconic best friend trios in movie and television history. Some of you didn't get that message and you were sending in Norm and Cliff. Well, trios is what we're going for. Maybe you could throw Woody in there. And we've covered a lot so far. Some of the text messages that have come in with folks' suggestions for the best trios in TV movie history. Josh, what about Kevin, Winnie, and Marilyn Manson from the Wonder Years? That's great.
That text is perfect.
That's great.
And what a great show, by the way.
A lot of folks don't know that Paul from the Wonder Years was portrayed by Marilyn Manson. Before Marilyn Manson became a rock star, he was a child actor, and he portrayed Paul on the show.
And in between the rock star and the actor, he had his rib removed so he could please himself orally.
Oral sex on himself. This one cracked me up, too. I don't know why. Maybe because we're almost done, and I'm excited. Tweeter, Moxley, and Billy Bob from Varsity Blues, which is such... I'm sorry, that movie sucks.
That movie seems so beloved. That's another one I haven't seen.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it seems like most people do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, really?
It's cheesy, but it's fun cheesy.
I do like whoever the lead character is. He's good enough.
James Van Der Beek.
Yeah, and the tweeter kid, that's
Scott Conn.
Dennis Cahn's son. Scott Conn. What was his? James Cahn's son.
Wasn't Paul Walker in that
Paul
movie?
Walker was the star quarterback that got hurt in the first game.
It just cracked me up. Tweeter, Moxley, and Billy Bob.
Man, whipped cream bikinis. That all started from that movie.
It wasn't all bad.
That's what's funny is that's all I know about it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Outside if it's a football movie and then the whipped cream bikini.
And the funny thing is, people tried to do that whipped cream bikini thing, but what they didn't realize is that the filmmakers use shaving cream because whipped cream just kind of melts and gets gross and sticky.
Yep.
So she's actually wearing shaving cream in that scene in the movie, Allie Larder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The
Am
movie...
I too old to watch a young lady with the whipped cream bikini?
Are you dead?
Yeah, come on.
Like my pal.
Is that too creepy?
One of my best friends saying he dumps on us all the time. You're married, not buried.
Yeah, it's not. It has nothing to do with my marital status, just more my age.
No.
Yeah, how old is she portrayed to be?
Inappropriate.
I will be forcing that kind of material on you until the day that you die. A lot of people texting in on our iconic friend trios from movie and television history. What did I have here? It disappeared. Charlie's Angels. Yeah, we covered them already. The original Charlie's Angels. Beavis, Butthead, and Stewart. No.
They hated Stewart.
Beavis and Butthead were terribly mean to Stewart.
Yeah.
And for a completely unfair reason, because Stewart liked Winger. There was nothing wrong. There never has been anything wrong with Winger.
Winger rules.
Oh, somebody texted in and said Ash, Misty, and Brock from Pokemon.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
Pokemon. The Dom triplets. I don't know if that counts. I don't
I don't even know how close they are.
I have a favorite five-some.
Five-some.
Yeah, Mac, Dennis, Charlie, Dee, and Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They are unbeatable.
God, that show is so funny.
Now never saw it.
Such a shame. I think you would find Charlie Day incredibly annoying in it, though.
I hate that guy.
He doesn't like Charlie Day.
Are we talking all movies? A listener wants to know, because the best trio I've ever seen was Jesse Jane, Nikki Nova, and Sonny Leone in a movie called Busty Cops. All right, let's wrap this up. Here's what else. Here's the other trios that were included in this report. Where the hell did I leave off? Okay. Did we do Huey, Louie, and Dewey?
Oh, no, they definitely belong on the list.
You got to go a ways back for this. Judy, Dora Lee, and Violet, played by Jane Fonda, Dolly Parton, and Lily Tomlin in the old movie 9 to 5.
I like that movie.
The Lonely Island Boys. They are Andy Samberg, Jorma Takakakoni, and Akaviva Safer.
Yeah.
The old Lonely Island Boys. You down or what?
Oh, I love them.
Ooh. Corey, Topanga, and Sean from Boy Meets World. I don't want to wait.
Isn't Topanga
for my life?
Like, she's somebody that everybody talks about how hot she is?
Oh, Daniel Fischel, yes. Oh,
right?
Man.
I don't want to wait, right?
Yeah. She posted a photo. She was here for a Comic-Con about a year or so ago, and she posted a photo. She was at a restaurant right by my house, and I resisted the urge to go be creepy and say hi to her.
Yeah, I always hear people talk about her.
Oh, Topanga, be still my heart.
I'm not trying to be a deck here, but wildly overrated, this next trio on the list of the most iconic best friend trios in movie and television history. Wildly overrated. Phil, Alan, and Stu from The Hangover.
We're the three best friends that anyone's ever had.
I sing that song being best friends.
Yeah, I sing that song sometimes.
I just thought the movie was not quite what everyone made it out to be.
I enjoyed it.
Dorothy isn't a name. Rudith, though that's not a name either.
No, is it a name?
That one's been tried on the show. Rudith. Dorothy, Rose, and Blanche from the Golden Girls.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you for being a friend. You traveled up the road and back again.
I rewatched that a couple years ago. I absolutely love that show.
B. Arthur, Betty White, and Rue McClanahan. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, and some other guy. A lot of folks texted in, and I agree. I thought that Richie, Potsy, and Ralph
Oh, that's a great one, too.
were pretty friggin' tight and put in a lot of years on Happy Days and probably deserve to be mentioned as a great friendship trio. Oh, they had some fun. And, of course, I would never forget them. But this list did, and probably because they're brothers. The Hansons. From Slapshot, of course.
And none of that stinking root beer.
Yep. All right. My God. What a week, Cubby. How do you feel overall about our general efforts this week?
Mid. Yeah.
We made it.
Mid. That's what the kids say. They say mid. Our thoughts are with knows everything about nothing Jesus' wife. Her stepfather, Rick, passed away peacefully this morning. Sounds like he was a great guy and a great dad from what I was told, and we're sad to have heard that news. Our best to you guys on a tough day. Wishing Corey the Corn Dog Jesus a very happy 38th birthday from Corey Can't Beat Me at Golf Jesus. Happy 17th to Kaylee from Dad, works too much plowing snow Jesus. Jenny texted in a shout out to her boyfriend Michael, both for his birthday today, and as a congratulations on recently celebrating 4 years sober and doing all the right things. Shout out to Coon Rapids Jesus, headed out to hang with the boys this weekend for some bar hopping in Hudson. Oh, that's dangerous.
Oh, it is.
Out with the boys?
Yeah, that text is from 9-10-inch wiener Jesus. Happy 14th to Alyssa. Boy, I wish I would have separated that one a little bit. Happy 14th to Alyssa from Dad AOL Jesus. And to all the hood, both brother and sister, we appreciate your time this and every morning you have an opportunity to listen. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you beautiful podcast listeners. Seriously, you folks are the best. We don't tell you that enough, but you are. And we couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't have a podcast if it weren't for our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, you can save up to $7,500 on a mini-split ductless system or a high-efficiency heat pump combo with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. I know those are some fancy terms, but what it really means is they're going to make sure you're comfortable in your own house. And get this, they even take care of that rebate paperwork for you. Visit standardheating.com to lock in your deal and enjoy the show. And seriously, you guys are the best.